he got a free tattoo and his dick sucked from some girl who saw that.
Dude, hell yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, dude. He got like he was getting all kinds of like fat bitches DMing him and stuff. But I'm like, see,
that's my fear.
But all right, I'm gonna start it right now.
Hell yeah, brother.
What time did you get here at?
4:20, dude. No, like think 1:55.
I feel bad because I was like, I mean, all these are already set up, but like I want to like make sure everything's angled right.
You're a perfectionist.
Because I'm editing a podcast right now, and like my camera angle, it's like just my head, like the camera's up way too high.
There you go.
And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that. But like, make sure, because when you come to editing, you just kind of try to edit before you start.
That makes sense.
Like there's like little things I'm like thinking of, but
honestly, bro, all the upgrades look fucking great.
Yeah, still adding to it.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, for right now, it's fun. I mean, if I have 4 people, then it's kind of like a little stressful.
I can't even imagine more than 2 people at a time.
3 is like good. I mean, I can have 4, but I have like a camera that I'd use extra, but it's kind of like a shitty ass, like battery dies too quick. And so I'm like not really focused on the conversation. I'm checking on these cameras a lot, but these 3 cameras, I'm like chilling. That one might die, but I'll fucking
fuck that one.
It doesn't matter. It's just a wide angle.
Yeah.
As long as these 2 are good, which are dominant cameras, so no problem with it.
How you been, brother?
Not good, dude. Yeah.
That's good. Living life, huh? That's I can relate to that. Fucking grandma fell.
Grandma fell. Yeah, tell me about that, dude. After your grandma.
She's fine. She's just drunk and old and Italian.
So what happened? You briefly told me about this last
I've been
night.
working for this guy named Terry at this weed company named Hash and Flower, and he has me go from L.A. to Long Beach to Orange County and
stuff. Was that the guy at the comedies, the Ontario?
No, that's an old gentleman named Steve. For some reason, I'm a sugar baby for all these guys.
Okay.
That's a joke, guys. No, it's this gentleman that basically owns the 8th largest concentrate company in California, and he needs help. So it's kind of a godsend for me. But I was working all day, and I come home, and Grandma's dating a 93-year-old named Bill.
She's dating somebody?
And he's 93, and he has 40 years of sobriety. So
damn.
He doesn't drink at all, but he gets her fucked up. And then she comes home, she's like, oh, how you guys doing?
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't know, like 10 minutes later, all I hear is like, Max, like from across the house. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like, Max. And apparently she was trying to open the doggy door and like her center of balance fell. And she like banged her head and got like black eyes. She hardly fell. Black eyes.
How old is she?
She's 75.
Okay, yeah.
So she's at that age where like, hey,
yeah,
it's a simple accident. I get it. You don't want to be like accused of being too old. No. But God, what if I wasn't home? You know?
They get old where it's like once you're in the 90s, you go, I saw Grandma, you hit her kneecap and she needs blood transfusions because she's leaking out blood. Like, oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
And the next few days, bro, she's coming up to me with like black eyes. I keep saying black eyes, not black guys, because, Bill's white. So we don't go about that. But she comes up to me with her eyes all swollen and shit. She's like, how's your day going? Are you doing good? I'm like, I can't even fucking look at you. It looks like I've been beating you for the last
what's his name?
2
Was
weeks.
Bill?
Bill, yeah.
Like Bill throwing hands on you?
Bill was the last person to find out she fell.
He wasn't home?
That's what dude, he just drops off the drunk old lady and just like takes his car home, and that's the life. Like,
so she was, you said closing the dog door?
She was across the house, and we live in a big house in Yorba Linda, and she was, the dog has a cone on his head right now because my grandma and that dog are like the stereotypical, old lady and pooch, little Shih Tzu pampered piece of shit.
Yeah.
His name's Rocky. But yeah, he wouldn't come inside, and she went to like go help him like open the little doggy door and just face planted. Oh, and that's just like, oh, poor grandma. Like, at least it wasn't like a fall, but she feels old and she feels dumb, and I'm gonna try to tell her, yeah, you are old, you are dumb,
Yeah,
like
those fuckers lose their balance, bro. The equilibrium's all off.
And it's like, you're the only old person I care about. So like, I don't care if Bill's 93 and fucking falls. I care if you fucking fall.
Wait, so she's, how old is she?
She's 75.
And she's in Bill's.
Hell yeah, 93. And then her last husband, that was my step grandpa. For they were married for 30 years. He died about 7 years ago, right before I moved in. He was 15 or 17 years older than her. So grandma has a type. And that type is old men that get her drunk and then drop her off and let her fall on her fucking face.
Oh my God. You think they're piping?
Oh, all the time.
You really?
All the time. Bro,
he's 93.
He's on he does a fucking bike ride every week, like 30 or 40 miles.
93?
He is like this little beach boy meets like old Iwo Jima veteran. Like just fucking, they don't make him like that anymore. Stereotype. Like just crystal
Damn.
white hair, fucking Hawaiian shirt everywhere he goes.
A little Jimmy Buffett looking.
Walks in the house. Good morning, Bill. And he says, good. And you're like,
Yeah.
awesome. Like,
What'd you do today? He's like,
super
spaghetti.
Yep, spaghetti. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, oh, how was lunch? It's like, good evening to you too. And you're like, awesome, Bill. You're living your own little. You'll be talking to him, and you'll just see him like fade back into his iPad, and you're just like, he doesn't. He's
got glassy eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But he can fucking ride a bike though.
Ride my grandma too.
I feel like you shouldn't be riding bikes in '93. Well, have you caught them doing anything? Or?
No, okay. So there was this one time because I go to bed late and they go to bed late, but he does not go to bed as late, like 10:30, 11. My grandma will stay up to like 1 or 2. So one time they went to bed early and I was going to bed around 1 or 2, and I'm walking down the hall and I hear a noise. It wasn't a moan. It wasn't like satisfactory. It was like a. Like they were like,
that's just old people noise.
That's what I'm chalking it up to. And then one time I made a joke about hearing that noise to my grandma in front of Grandma and Bill, and she took me off to the side and she was like, I don't want to ever hear a joke like that again, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, Grandma, like,
wait, were they fucking?
I'd never wanted to ask, and I think she thought I thought they were, so she was assuming that I was assuming. And it's like, Grandma, we're all Italian and loud here. I'm assuming you were just cussing him out or something, you know? Yeah. But
do you think your orgasm sounds change when you're 93?
I know mine already sound like a 93-year-old, so I'm sure when I'm actually leaves. I just fucking pulled a fucking, where's my cane?
Yeah.
No, my girl finishes me off and I'm asleep for a good 30 minutes and she gets pissed because she's like, you didn't even do anything, and it's like, you don't get it. You don't fucking get it.
Bill just comes in. She doesn't get it.
She doesn't
get it.
It's hard work, man.
Oh man, that's awesome though, dude. Good for him.
You know, and that's how I feel, because if they're okay, he was married 50 years and then his wife died and then met my grandma about the same amount of time from my grandma.
Where'd they meet? Danny's?
So that's the thing.
Sizzlers.
They met on like gilf.net.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, one of those like one-off, not eHarmony, not like oldpeoplefuck.net, like one of those probably.
Farmers only.
Farmers only. Yep, that's
gilf.net, dude. Not even a
Not even. Yeah, they can't spend that money. It's free for a reason.
No, is it really?
He has. No, I was kidding. I have no idea what it was called. But it's one of those. It wasn't eHarmony because she didn't want to spend the money for eHarmony. So she doesn't want a classy man. She wants one like, he was married for 50 years, meets my grandma, then says to my grandma, I've been waiting my entire life to have a love like this. And I'm like, Grandma, he's selling his house right now, $1.4 million in Yorba Linda.
Oh, that's where Grandma's getting.
Yeah, and that's what I told her. I was like, you should have him move in. He's not moving in. Yeah. I'm like, of course he's not moving in. Like, they're just going to travel the fucking country.
Yeah.
If she's happy, man, I'm happy.
That's dope.
She still works. You know, she does credit card processing, and I don't know what the fuck she's doing. So it's like, hey, if you're stressing yourself out, if I can't help you,
Bill can.
Hell yeah. You should go on a bike ride, Grandma. That helps with stress.
I fucking stressed out. Goes in the room, just okay. Comes back out. She comes out. She's just got like just dust in her hand.
One hit wonder.
Like she just got chalk in her hand. Like she was just powerlifting.
Oh, that's so funny.
Damn, good for him, man. I mean, it makes you realize, because I mean, I got no dick problems, but you think that like obviously you hear like when you get older that you like. But 93, that's just like...
I think if it's your heart, you take care of your heart, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know even when I don't drink for a couple of days, my dick is working wonders. And when I do drink, it's like, it's not working. But goddamn, like, where's that fucking... where's that, like, Popeye little
I think it's,
fucking...
if you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing.
That's probably true. Yeah, look at my foreskin.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We gotta get that. We gotta get back what's ours, dude. Yeah, I just... is that a new tattoo in your leg?
This is.
I was gonna say that it looks dark, like it's fresh.
I got this for my 8th year. This is my 7th year sobriety. It's Calvin pissing on a syringe.
Oh, you don't drink alcohol?
No, I don't do heroin anymore.
Oh, okay.
So that's when I say sobriety, they're like, "Oh, you're California sober." I'm like, no, I just don't do heroin anymore.
Okay.
So like,
I mean, it makes you feel because for a second you got here, it's like, you want to drink, one beer, and you're like, no.
I love drinking, and I want to take this a little seriously. And
no, that's good. That's good.
It was one of those things that like I'm pretty hungover from last night. So as people are like, "Oh, you're not really practicing sobriety," it's like I smoke dabs every day. I drink alcohol, not every day, but I used to smoke off tinfoil. I used to like pick Norcos end on end. So this one has Calvin pissing on a syringe, and it says "Shoot your local heroin dealer." And then this one says "Fuck taxes, smoke maxes," and it's got mushroom smoking joints inside of a Grateful Dead skull.
Dude, I remember that in high school, dude. But that, I mean, you've always been, because like I said, I think I said this on the last podcast, is that, you know, clearly you felt like you had a problem with, like, you just didn't want to be doing it, like, is what you were doing.
So that's
but you weren't a problem to anybody else. Like, you were fucking just as awesome. Like, you
That was why I was addicted, because I was never having an actual problem. I was
Yeah.
like living the best life. And it's like, bro, you're a fucking zombie all the time. Like, you're wearing the same outfit every day of the week.
Dude, I'd see you in high school. You're like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? Like, you were so fun. Like,
I was hilarious.
It wasn't like you were like, oh, dude, that guy, like, you know,
Yeah.
there's some people like, you know, when they do shit and you're like, oh, dude, that guy's gotta get,
Yeah.
like, that guy's gotta leave. But every time you were like high or whatever, I'm like, yeah, you high right now? You're like, stop.
Yeah, high as fuck, bro. The pain, like, the painkiller high, I think is like really the fucking, probably the best. I mean, it's my drug of choice for a reason, but people don't want to hear me talk about that because I practice sobriety. It's like, bro, if I didn't talk about heroin, make jokes about heroin, I would not have 8 years of sobriety.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to come with terms. Like, that's your fucking demon. Like, if I, even at my worst, and I want to do drugs, it's like, it wouldn't make anything better. But you know what makes it better? Some vodka, some Red Bull, some fucking joints, some dabs, chilling, comedy, focusing on other stuff, you know?
What drug would you think it would be close to heroin?
That's the one thing people tell me all the time. Like, oh, you've done it. Like, what's it like? It's like, there's nothing else like it, so it's very hard to compare it. But people, Chase Hayward once told me, and he was a little delinquent from high school. I'm pretty sure he's still doing meth. He told me that it felt like your entire body is coming all over the place, every ounce of your being. And I felt it was more of like my favorite time that I can attribute doing heroin. I was in a skinhead's house, in a trap house, smoking heroin on the front porch, nodding off, watching the street light flicker from, you know, red, green, yellow, just smoking cigarettes. And I was like, if I died right now, man, this is the best feeling ever. And it's like, that's why you're a junkie. That's because it's like, it makes everything fine. Xanax already does that. Alcohol already does that. Weed already does that. So if you have to stoop to that, you sold your soul. Meth, you sell your mind. You know, it's all just fucking.
Because I know with like meth, they say, like, I just looked up too, is Adderall is very similar chemically.
There's a shortage right now
meth
on Adderall, and people are going crazy.
And I've taken Adderall a few times for the reason of, because like SATs in high school, and
Absolutely,
like when I was go to community college, I was taking OChem, I was taking chemistry classes,
Okay.
and like for finals and stuff, I'm like, I'll take some Adderall.
How'd you feel?
I think I didn't feel anything because I mean I've done like other things that are like you actually feel out of body and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This is just, I think it to me it felt more of like a mental thing where I'm like,
See-
I'm just like, oh, I'm taking something I should focus on. So I'm like, oh, I'm feeling it now. I'm focusing.
Yeah.
You know, but
And
I think I did feel like, you know, something, but nothing like, if that's what meth feels like, then I'm like, what's the deal with, you know?
Yeah, see, like uppers, cocaine. I think Robin Williams, he has a quote. It's my favorite Robin Williams quote, and he says, "Cocaine will make you feel like a new man. Problem is the new man only wants cocaine." And it's like, yeah, you're gonna get focused, you're gonna get your shit done, but at what like level of like authenticity? You're gonna write some crazy good jokes down. It's all fucking dick jokes, fart jokes, because you're high on coke, and it's like, if that works for you, great.
Yeah.
I'd rather take a dab and be paranoid that the cops are outside and they heard my fucking Jew joke, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of jokes, dude, I want to know. So, because I mean, you've been doing every fucking Monday. Well, I mean, you've been switching it up different days. It's Funny Farm. You're doing stand-up comedy sets, and
It's
well,
been
not
a
sets
lot
for
of
you,
fun.
but you've been hosting, producing, and
We do the
setting
open
up.
mic. We
Open
try
mics,
to
yeah.
do it every Monday, but every spot we go to, they see it and they're like, you know what? We like to do this like once a month, and it's like, no, I get you, but like we want other spots, and it's an open mic through and through. So we have music, we have comics, we have people that are deranged, we got the autisms. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
So what? So I mean, obviously you've seen like all the you had to get like bombs and you like
Absolutely,
because I mean
bro.
I've been to a few too, and like I'll
Yeah.
see people go up there and I'm like, oh wow, like
Oh,
there's
yeah,
just-
it's
some people are
tough.
just insane. Like,
Yeah, some people
it's
are
weird.
insane.
It's like it's a disconnect. But I mean, I've been up there and I feel like you are different, obviously, but then there's like a different fucking level of different.
There's a lot of the Orange County area that's conservative, we're like certain values and shit. I don't give a fuck about your politics. This is an open mic. This transcends your left or right bullshit. This is First Amendment. Come say whatever you want. You have a joke with the N-word, I'm not saying you should say it, but if you think that you should say it, come say it on stage and see what happens with the crowd.
Yeah.
Like that's not a good thing. But at the same time, I see people that are insane, right? And they come back a week after, and they're actually working on jokes and working on bits. And it's like, that's cool. And then there's people that are actual comics that are coming through, and then they just blow everyone away. And it's like, that was a real comic. So it's cool to promote shows. It's cool to do the Funny Farm thing. What we're really working on is sponsoring shows. So, if you know somebody that has a show coming up, be that a music show or a band or a comic, we're sponsored. We have tables for green rooms, edibles, joints, that kind of stuff. We have a show on the 13th coming up at the Comedy Store in LA.
That's dope.
That's
yeah,
really
cool.
dope.
Wait, the 13th? When is that?
That's a Wednesday night
cool.
at 10:30.
Because I slack on editing, but I'm gonna get that out before the 13th.
I appreciate that. That's
I got fucking 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then I think on the 12th, the day before, we're at Ontario Improv doing a roast battle. So
that's tough.
Yeah, that's with Kevin the Caveman and Cody the Redheaded Bastard, 2 people in my Stranglehold Productions group, and they have a funny catchphrase.
Do you rent out the improv, or do you like how does that work?
We're lucky, man. I used to work at the Brea Improv for over like a year and a half, and I pulled a lot of right connections, and I know the sound guy that works there. A lot of the comics themselves just call me, and the managers there are way cooler than the managers at anywhere else because they actually like edibles and they know I'm not a threat. I'm just helping comics get high.
Yeah.
Basically for free because comics are already going to get high. So it's more of just word of mouth. And, you know, we do medicatering. So it's like anything that you could think of, we medicate. So pasta sauces, savory things. We could put mushrooms in it. We can put weed in it. You know, we can really have a fun time. And people don't. Some people like that, but a lot of people don't like that. Well, comics love that shit. So, you know, when I'm there and I give them a free little sample of something, they're more than likely going to come do my show or understand the vibe of my show. You know, kind of thing. So it's taken off. And, you know, this doing stuff like this really helps because soon enough we'll have people on the couch here asking about their tour dates and shit like that. And hopefully we can rent a space out soon. That's kind of in my, you know, blueprint.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because fuck someone else who thinks they can do what you can do better. That's not.
No,
fun.
yeah, especially yeah. Do you have you ever had like somebody go up there and like bomb like really? I mean, I've seen bombs personally.
Yeah.
From those, but like, have you seen like one true? Like, what's the one that really sticks out?
So I can't use the punchline because it has the N word in it, but he called it the N burger, and the punchline was N burger, and he kept ordering.
Was he black?
No, he was a scrawny white guy, and he like was doing it for emphasis, and like he said it. I think I counted 15 times, and like 2 or 3 black people left the room. And I was like, fuck, we're in Orange County, Mike. I'm honored to even have 2 or 3 black people in the room, you know? So it was one of those things where it was a hard bomb, but you could see that he was like accepting the bomb. Like
he wasn't affecting him.
No, he wanted to say the N-word on stage. And I was like, see, that's the one thing where I draw the line. I maybe, sure, in past tense, I should have kicked him out or something. He never came back. We had words.
Yeah.
He came with a clown. He came with a guy who was a clown dressed up with face paint. And he was doing jokes from Y2K. So his whole bit was the clown was asleep in a coma and woke up and he still thought it was 2001. And it's like,
wait, he was dressed as this is the guy you came with.
The guy he came with.
Okay.
And so it's like, I should have just known from the very beginning that
that's more of like, they're not really here to like do stand up. They're just here to like actually fucking do as worst as they can. Like do like the absolute worst.
And that's like the hard thing. It's like, you want to make content. I love it. Right. If that's what your version of making content is bombing at my mic. I don't like that. That's weird. Right. That's so, you know, but I've only had to ban one person. Yeah. And he's a fucking cuck. He's in a porno. His name's Kenny Weber. He runs he runs the Rec Room in Fullerton. They have like 70,000 followers. But yeah, he's in a porno where some black guy's like fucking his wife and he plays the cuck. He came to my open mic one time and like sang Christmas carols, and it was a big piece of shit. And all of his comics that go to his mic, they're like, "Did you really ban Kenny?" It's like, yeah.
Wait, he was just singing Christmas. Was it jokes?
He was like 20th. He came really late.
So it was like sabotage. Like he's not like trying to.
He waited the entire time just to come on stage and be like, "Wow, if you're really the host of the mic, you wouldn't bomb in between each comic." So insults the host, insults the place, you know, and then he starts doing Christmas carols because he didn't have any of his own jokes. And then he went into jokes. His whole bit was like, you know how cat people are like cat people and dog people like really like dog people? At the very end, he's a half white, half black guy, right? At the very end, he tells my Mexican host, he says, "I bet you won't say the N-word." And so Kevin's like, beep, and says it. Yeah. And it's like, bro, what, like, you're coming to a microphone to antagonize people? Yeah. The whole vibe was off, and like
that seems like an old tradition too. Because all I watch is,
you know,
all I watch now is like comedy podcasts, and that's how it used to be. Like people commentated each other. Yep. But like now it's like, I mean, I could always see it like, I mean, if someone's doing good, then it helps other people do good.
Bro, and there's riffs and there's roasts, right?
Because now everybody who was at that show who don't know the guy, who just saw him, that if they ever see him again, like, oh, that guy fucking sucks.
Yep, and the comics that perform at his mic in Fullerton, they fucking hate it. They come to my mic and they say I have the best mic. It's like, yeah, because I'm not gatekeeping who can.
What kind of mic you got?
Yeah, right? Seriously. And it's like, dude.
Subtronic 4000?
Dude, my last spot, I did my open mic at the CBD shop. They stole my microphone.
Really?
I still can't get it back.
Do you know they have it, or you just...
Oh yeah, because that's the last place I lost it, and then the people, they started doing their own mic, and they took a picture, and it's my microphone.
Really?
And it's like, is it worth the retaliation to report? No, of course not. They fucking mimicry is the greatest form of flattery, right?
Yeah.
They want what I have, and I'm doing what I did organically. So it's like, fuck them. They can keep my microphone. I don't need that mic.
So you got engraved?
Yeah, right. I got it, dude. It sucks. It has a Maxwell Farm sticker on it.
MP.
Oh
yeah, exactly.
It's torn off, and you can see that there was a sticker on there.
That's why. I mean, that makes sense because I mean, a lot of times I'll see like Kill Tony does every week. He's got like tape around like certain color.
Something different.
It could be like for the other reasons, but I mean,
Yeah. See,
marking your shit.
I usually just put a condom over mine, so that way people know it's mine. It stays clean,
That works. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, fucking, you gave me those free tickets to go see Jason Elliott down.
I'm a big proponent. If I can get people in for free, if I can eat, you're gonna eat. Like,
yeah,
the first person I thought of, because we recorded his set last time.
Yeah,
it was in March. And so when I was like, oh, Jason Ellis again, which hopefully that works out with him because he needs a weed sponsor. He's on the up and coming. He's headlining shows now, which he kind of didn't like doing, and now he likes doing it. So anytime I have a way to get people in for free, you're gonna get in for free. And if you have to pay, I'm gonna let you know. But
no, I get it. That was fun, dude. I know Jeremiah Watkins because I watched him.
He was funny as fuck, bro.
Dude, I was laughing. The hardest I laughed is besides when Billy came out, but when Jason he didn't know stand up on the spot, the name of his thing. He goes, it's stand up. I'm looking over and fucking, Jeremiah's just kind of just on his phone, just shaking his head. But then he reenacts, dude. His impersonation of Jason was so good, but
it's very good. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're funny people, man. There's fucking Billy's funny. I mean, they're just.
It's a little crowd that it's LA comedy, but it's the LA comedy I'm willing to put up with because these guys are actually very unique. They're different.
Yeah, Billy doesn't even use the mic, bro.
Yep, he just yells at you. Yeah, and I gave him an 8-gram mushroom at that show because he helped me get in touch with the right people to get me to sponsor that show. And it's like I said, if I can eat, you're gonna eat. And he ate those mushrooms. Probably.
I say that jokingly all the time, where it's like if I'm like, fuck, what's this situation? Like if I'm like with a girl, I'm like, you guys want some too? I mean, if I'm eating, all my boys are eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's obviously a joke, but
I love my girlfriend. She's very shy. I've known her for 2.5, almost 3 years now. I have the most weed, the most anything you could think of out of most of the people I know, right? To this day, bro, every morning she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to my car and grab my wax container." I'm like, just take a dab, smoke a joint. Okay. Oh, okay, I don't mind. It's like, thank you. Yeah. Like, it's not. I want you people to take me for my word when I can't make something happen. Yeah. If I'm telling you this is what's gonna happen, that's gonna happen. Yeah. I don't know.
Dude, the shyness also makes it so funny too, because I'll see her on your Instagram story, and you'll just be recording her. She's cutting a cake, and she just looks, and she just like smiles and laughs. She doesn't know what to do. She's like, dude, it's so funny. Yep. But yeah, dude, your farm company. I want to ask. Well, so I don't smoke weed a lot, but I know that's like legal in California.
Yeah.
So like, what's the advantage of like buying weed from you versus a dispensary?
So that's kind of the thing, man, is I'm direct to consumer. I care about you. I care about your lungs. I care about your ailments of sleeping at night. If you can't eat edibles, if you want to eat edibles because you have kids, you go to a clinic and they want your money. Then they're going to charge you a tax for a product you're probably not going to like, And so that's why I take, Maxwell Farm so seriously.
You grow it yourself?
I grow it all myself, all organically, indoors, in the beautiful Orange County area. So it's one of those things that most people grow up north and they bring it back down, and I'm not really into that. It's small batch.
Why do they do that up north?
Just make more money. It's way cheaper electricity.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much.
But it has nothing to do with like the actual growing process in terms of like, I feel like you get more sun down here.
It's really who you talk to, like bro science. But like the real people know it's not really like the sun. Sun is the best. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna do outdoor. You're gonna do indoor. Doesn't matter. The sun is natural, and you can have big plants, right? But it's really we're living in the federal prohibition of marijuana still, so we're bootleggers. At the end of the day, no one wants to get too big, so we like to keep things local and care about our community. We sponsor a few skaters, a few comics. We sponsor a few DJs, kind of anybody that wants to wear a Maxwell Farm shirt, and you're going to get high anyway. Might as well smoke a product that's good for you and you enjoy. I've been told my edibles are phenomenal, and it's like, yeah, because I already liked cooking. And I liked getting high, so if I combine them the right way, it should work out well. I hate when people are like, "Oh, it was really good, but I didn't feel anything."
How do you like learn with the cooking process, like in terms of like making something with? Because you, like you said earlier, is that like you can put it in anything.
That's the thing. So like it's really a whole process of activating the THC. So you have to infuse it, if you will, into different oils or butters and stuff like that. So once you understand that process, I can medicate anything. So I like to medicate coconut oil for like the cooking part.
Mhm.
And then we use Rick Simpson oil, which is a gentleman named Rick Simpson way off used a bunch of plant matter and then made a tincture, if you will. So we double infuse it, and then we medicate sugar, so it's triple infused with some canna sugar. And we have 3 or 4 infusions, and I tell people eat half an edible, wait 90 minutes. You more than likely won't need the other half.
Yeah.
And most people eat like a fifth, and they're like, that's way too high. And it's like, Maxwell Farms isn't for everybody. If you want to go to the clinic and buy edibles that are 5 milligrams, all power to you, you know. But for $10 or $15, I have an edible that you can enjoy.
Do you
4
think
or
the
5
clinics
times.
like undershoot with THC percentages?
So that's the whole like argument that most people think THC percentages matter. And it's like, sure, if you want something that has a lot of THC in it, it will get you higher, right? But there's strains for a reason. You know, there's different. I like to smoke indica because I have back pain and I have PTSD and stuff like that. If I have a 91% crazy vape pen that's sativa, I'm just going to be in my head for 40 minutes, like clawing at the walls, because that's how I am as a person, you know? But what we like to do at Maxwell Farms is we grow, I hate using this term, but it's exotics. It's one-off, a few plants. Some are great, some aren't, you know, kind of thing. And we can really focus on a variety. We just finished one called Outlier Z, which has like this really fruity like smell to it, but when you smoke it, it's really, really heavy. And like I rolled one blunt and got like 3 or 4 people high, and I was like, that's my weed, that's cool. I'm used to having to dab people out and stuff like that. So I don't know what I'm doing with Maxwell Farms, but you know, we're getting shirts going, we're getting websites going, we're having fun. And that's important because quite honestly, I think we're gonna have a podcast soon, interview some comics, get them high, ask them some weed questions. And quite honestly, the whole reason I started Maxwell Farms is I've lived in California my entire life. I've been a part of the cannabis community for at least 15 years, and it fucking sucks. I hate it. I don't like fucking dreads. I don't want to fucking I love Grateful Dead, but if you're a fucking deadhead, you don't have a job and can't contribute to society, I don't want you to be a stoner. I don't want you to
Becomes more of a business than like a hobby. I mean, like a, I don't know.
No, you're absolutely
like
right.
that.
This is the small batch mom and pop weed shop business, and that's America through and through. We're not corporate. We're not commercial. You can't find us at clinics, and I don't want you to find us at clinics.
When I saw you down in Ontario, the Improv outside, one of my buddies pulled out a wax pen, and that you guys aren't fair towards that. How come?
So that's the convenience is hard to beat, right? It's so convenient to get high in their car, have a vape pen, right?
Yeah.
I used to work at People's Farming, and it was it used to be called People's Choice, and it's a big clinic in Santa Ana. Well, they make the distillate, the stuff that goes in the pens, for about 100 of the top companies across the country. They use ethanol. They use all these chemicals. It has to go through around 3 or 4 different machines. It's a permeated solution. There's a reverse osmosis. There's heat. There's decarbonization. There's all these things going on to the weed itself that when you have to smoke that end product, like, it's not worth putting into your body. You're better off taking a dab. You're better off smoking a joint, because it's the farthest way of having a way to get high.
Do you ever prefer using matches over a lighter?
You know what, man? Sometimes if I'm feeling really fucking hippy dippy, I'll go outside and use the sun with a magnifying glass. And I'll just get it just right. I've done that once or twice. It's such a pain in the ass, but man, that's some hippy dippy way of doing it.
I feel like overall you're like, I'm gonna feel a little different, or I'm gonna feel.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's all a wash.
I think your body is like pretty protective, or where it's like if you get a little butane inside of it, it's just not really effective.
And that's how I feel about the vape pens. It's like if I'm already doing butane and I'm already doing all this other small shit, and drinking all the fucking alcohol that I drink.
Whippets, not
yeah, all the whippets, all that shit, you know.
Yeah.
It's you know, there's other ways of. And furthermore, people that I feel like when you're hitting a vape pen, you're hitting it because you're at a job you fucking hate.
Yeah.
So how about you don't have a job you fucking hate and you don't have to get high all the time?
Yeah, dude. I got some buddies who they'll fucking sleep with that thing, dude. Next to them and shit.
It's
and
strong.
I'll catch them. They'll like wake up. They're not even awake. They're just
Yeah.
and just like fall back asleep. Cause I'll get like a vape every like so often. Like if it's for a trip. If I go to Vegas for a weekend, I'm like, yeah, I'll get a vape and walk around with it.
For sure.
But by the end of it, it'll last me fucking like 2 weeks because I don't hit it that often.
Yeah.
Because like I'll like realize like I'll hit it a few times and then like if I'm hitting it all day, by the end of the day I'm like hitting it, I'll like ask myself, I'm like, I don't feel anything.
Nothing's
I'm just
happening.
doing this because it's here.
Yep.
And I always ask people that. I'm like, do you feel anything from like hitting that? And like, not at all.
Nope.
And I'm like, then
It's not worth it. Yeah.
then you're just doing it just because it's there. You know what I mean?
See, I have a pen that I use and it has rosin in it. So the concentrate that's inside is different. So Those are a little bit better because they're still convenient. They're just more expensive because rosin itself, when you're making that distillate thing that I used to make at the company, you have to use the ethanol, all these solvents to get the weed off the thing. When you're making rosin, you're using ice water and heat pressure. So it's like getting it super cold and then you're pressing it to make the hash. And that's the expensive part.
What is that? Rosin?
It's rosin. So it's hash rosin. So basically, take weed, you give it an ice bath, you use sifting pans, like bags, they're called bubble hash bags. All the trichomes fall through the bags. You have a goopy pile of mess. Scoop it up. You put it in a freeze dryer. It freezes into hash. Then you use a rosin press, which is, think of an industrial
Do you
strength.
have all this shit where you are? Or
So
I'm just laughing thinking about you just like sifting shit.
So
Dude.
I've
You're in your
done it.
boxes and shit, and you got to join your hand. And
We outsource our hash, and I'm saying that for the first time on this mic because I don't think people even knew Maxwell Farms has hash. But with the company I'm working with, it's just repackaged stuff that's in the shops already, and that it's going for 50 or 60 a gram. So it's like if I'm getting the best stuff on the market right now, just in bulk from the guy because I work for him, I'm making my own white label hash company all day. He even told me to. He's like, just change the name. Don't change the name. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna change the name, but like, I take so much pride in growing my own flower. I would have to take 3 or 4 harvests, let's say like a year's worth of work, just to try to make hash, just to see if the numbers would line up. And quite honestly, it's
some
not.
Breaking Brad shit.
It is, yeah, straight up. And that's why I leave it to the pros, because I love flower.
Yeah, I feel like you lose a lot when you're like, if you don't have like the fucking expensive ass equipment.
And
where
that's
it's like,
that's the reason why it's so expensive, because that's the industry standard. And we're in an industry right now that keeps changing. So it's like, fuck it, I'll do the Maxwell Farm shit. I'll ride this train wherever it takes me. And if I meet cool people along the way, which I have, cool. And if people burn me, I guess I got to pay more attention, you know? Yeah. But quite honestly, I was smoking and selling other people's weed for years. So it's like, why not, you know, have people enjoy a product that I take a level of standard that's, you know, it took me about 5 years. I've been growing for around 7. It took me about 5 years to finally want to smoke my own weed.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, I got free weed, but it's boof. You know, I'm not going to sell this.
No, I get that.
I mean, I could sell it to like elementary school kids, but you know, well, no problem going back to jail.
Yeah, did you remember that one time you sold the Skylar Black that cigarette because it was watermelon for $5, and he's like, it does taste like watermelon.
Yeah, I picked watermelon because you know.
Well, you been to jail?
No, not anymore.
What? Not anymore.
No, I haven't been to jail, thank God. But my favorite threat to tell people is like, I have no problem going back to jail. I think when you have enough tattoos.
Have you been to jail?
No.
Okay.
I've been arrested.
I'm like, have you been to jail? Like, no, but like when I was in jail.
Yeah. I was detained a few times. I got really lucky. I used to hang around a lot of stupid people when I was like, actually before I was 18, and now that's like 10 years later, and I'm growing pot and shit. I wish I was like this cool ass badass guy. All that like side of the weed industry has gone to shit. Yeah. And it's like, I don't need to be some trapper, dude. I vibe with the trappers.
Because I think the stigmatism was like Jesus Christ, I would say that. The stereotype when, back in like when it was illegal that they fucking force feed that like, you know, drugs are bad and you got to be a bad person to smoke it. And now it's just like, now because it's so legal and that there's like health benefits and people are actually just doing it because it's like, fuck, this actually helps my like life out. Then it just kind of goes from like fucking tattooed guys, fucking, you know, beating the shit out of women, fucking going to jail, smoking weed, to just like fucking Fred with glasses and Bill, 93-year-old, just smoking a joint to go to bed. You know?
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I'm very privileged as a white guy in California to be involved in the weed industry, because if you go literally anywhere else in this country, a lot of places have legal weed now, sure, but we're talking like the South. 70% of all drug crimes are over weed, and it's over like a gram or less. So it's like a dude going home from his job with a blunt, getting pulled over, and a cop being like, "Hey, I got you."
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
Dude,
like,
the thing I was thinking about too recently is that, I mean, I feel like this has been talked about a lot, but it's just still interesting to think about is the people, like, because obviously weed's legal now in California, that there's probably still people incarcerated, like in prisons and jails because of weed, that it's legal now. But it's just kind of like, do they just stay there? You know what I mean?
Until Kim Kardashian comes and saves her ass.
Yeah, but it's like crazy because it's like, yeah, but you could do that now.
Yeah.
But like, no, but you couldn't do it then. You're like, just smoke one joint, you're 25 to life. You're like, what?
And the craziest part right now, the people that I've worked for, especially this year, last few months, the only way to make money in cannabis is to be a broker, is to have hundreds of pounds at your disposal. And you're selling it from this guy for this price to this guy for $25 more. That's per pound. So you have 1,000 pounds times $25. You just made $25K. Cool. That's not me or you, right? and we don't have access to boats and airplanes that ship this shit. So it's like, if we're gonna be involved in cannabis, it's all about the culture, and the culture sucks. I mean, getting high and like watching a fucking cartoon and eating cereals shouldn't just be a stereotype. That's what people do, and they're like, I'm medicated, and it's like, that's, bro, fucking take a hike and smoke a joint, and then come home. At least you can say that I earned this fucking bowl of Cocoa Puffs. You know,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think it's a personality type. I feel like
absolutely, bro.
I mean, I feel like even if I smoked weed a lot, I feel like I wouldn't be the type of person who, if I smoked it, I would just sit down and just watch. I would be like, I'm gonna go fucking do something.
Yeah,
because that's how I am outside of like weed, I guess. But
absolutely.
But speaking of fucking prison and jail, dude, I got this video I wanted to show you. It's a police chase, right?
Oh hell yeah.
Here, let me screen record this real quick. So it's a police chase, and the passenger is filming it. He's just like a part of it. Like, I feel like if you're in a police chase, if you're like not the driver, do you get in trouble?
Yeah, accomplice. But see, I would jump out of the car, right?
Yeah, but like, yeah, exactly.
Or just wait,
like,
just pretend you're asleep.
But you want, like, I feel like I feel like at the end of it that I would just, I mean, I don't know, because I feel like the fucking driver would be held.
How close are you to the driver?
I mean, I feel like if everybody in the car said like, no, we weren't a part of this, and the driver would get like more counts of like holding people like accomplice, just
I could see that happening. Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. I feel like, dude, like, just imagine if you're an Uber driver. Like, I just watch this video.
Now. Fucking getting chased by the fucking cops, yo. What the fuck? The fuck, yo?
Like, he's got baby on board
Yeah,
stickers, dude.
he's the baby. Like,
The baby's just like, you think the baby goes to prison too?
the baby's driving probably.
I know, my nigga. I know. What the fuck?
Fuck, bro. He's got the shades. He got the half-ass fucking shades, so it's dark.
He's like, I
enough for
know.
the kid.
Fuck. They not laying up, man. Stupid bitch.
This is me and my girl on our way to home to get dab. Jesus Christ.
Dude, crashes, grabs his phone, and goes, all right, I'm out. It cuts out, dude.
I'm just a passenger.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously if you get out and you start running, then it's kind of a little different. But like, I mean, yeah, what if you get an Uber and he starts fucking, he's like, just 16, he goes, I'm not going back to jail. And you're like, I'm just trying to get to fucking Hamilton.
You're like, I don't care where jail is. I'm just trying to get home, sir.
But like, I mean, I guess obviously in that case you'd be fine. But like in that situation, like, I mean, obviously he took off running.
Yeah.
But
that's what you don't do.
But I feel like
I love that shit.
'Cause,
guns pointed at you, you broke a crime, and so you're gonna try to get away.
Like obviously if you're like outside of fucking running with the police, if there's open alcohol in the container in the car, it's charged to the driver.
That's true.
So I mean, what happens if you're fucking running from the police like that?
That's true.
There's probably a lawyer.
This is your fucking responsibility, driver.
Yeah,
you brought this motherfucker with you.
It's kind of like, I don't know, like what I don't know. Cause I got in trouble. He's probably in trouble because he started running, I guess. Yeah. But
when it comes down to it,
fuck Texas smoke magnet.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. It's like who you associate yourself with. I associate with my people that when they get pulled over, they shoot first. They don't even drive. I get my people just to fire right away. So there's no fucking license registration. They're right here. I gotcha.
Dude, there's like a video. It's super funny. It's a wallet gun holster.
Dude.
So you have your wallet in the gun holster, and you're like,
dude.
So it's like cop because license registration. He's like, here it is, and he pulls it out.
I love that one. I'm sure it sells great in black communities.
Yeah, dude. You ever been like pulled over? Been in a fucking car chase or anything like that?
I have been pulled over a lot of times. I have been detained. It's been a long time, thank God. Knock on fucking wood.
What were you detained for? That's plastic, dude. You're going to prison.
Oh fuck! I'm knocking my dick.
Nah,
so I was detained when I was hanging around a bunch of drug dealers when I was in high school.
I feel like the word detain is so funny because I just think of a dog, like just taming a dog.
When they put you in handcuffs and then they tell you to sit on the curb and you have to do that weird thing where your knees are like by your ears but your hands are behind your back, you did something wrong. But that wasn't that bad. They were looking for somebody and I was with the wrong people, which will sum that up pretty well. Yeah. The good one that I have is one time Matt Carrillo and I, shout out Matt Carrillo, who's a part of Stranglehold Productions, great sound guy. We went to Cushtown And Kushtown is a clinic in LA at the time. This was about maybe 5-7 years ago.
Is that just like a building name or
It's
like
literally
name,
the
or is
name of the clinic. Like,
Okay.
what is like? Can we call ourselves the weed store? No. What about like
Kushtown.
Kushville? No. What about Kushtown? Oh, that's it. Like, we went there for $100 ounces, and that's at the time that was pretty good price for weed. I'm sure weed prices are different.
You think it was shit weed though?
It was shit weed, but like we were getting it for so cheap that we would know what to do with it. So we'd go there around $400 or $500 and come back. Matt is half white and half Mexican, but for some reason today he thought he was all white because we were flying down the freeway. We get on the freeway, within like 5 seconds he's already in the carpool lane. We're flying. There's a cop on the freeway. This is the 210. He matches our speed, goes in front of us, goes behind us, gets behind, like this whole tactical thing, and then he's like, "Pull over on the freeway, get off the." We get off the freeway. We're like,
they get your plates down.
And he was like super serious. We get off the freeway. He comes up to us, looks through the car, and he goes, "You know what? Smells like weed in here. You guys are driving like you stole it. I can see the weed in the back seat, but yeah, you're good." And let us go. And like, I hate talking about. Yeah, he doesn't know we're from Kushtown. Yeah,
just peel
dude,
out.
That was like the definition of white privilege. But like, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was in the passenger seat. I paid for all the weed. I was gonna be fucking pissed if we got that shit confiscated. But like, he wasn't. I think he was looking for stolen vehicles or something.
You're driving like it's stolen.
Yeah,
But you're white, so get out of here.
Yeah, fucking Matt Carrillo.
But wait, you said you were detained though.
I got detained the first time. The second time was just pulled over and shit like that. And like, if you are getting stepped out of the car, there's like an issue.
Yeah.
It's usually like someone's drinking and driving or warrants and shit. But I don't know. I've been lucky. I don't deal with cops. I didn't pulled over. I drive. I got my license when I was 22. My grandma taught me how to drive. So I'm like slow.
Yeah.
I'm a slow man on the freeway.
Now Bill's in the passenger seat, dude.
Bill's oh my god.
Dude, I've
drives like a maniac.
I've been pulled over I think 3 times.
Okay.
But regardless of that, there's been one time I wasn't driving, but we had to step out of the car.
There you go.
And it was in the it was in 2015, and we were at the top of Haven, and we're like, that's when everybody had their trucks, the Tacomas, the Toyotas, and the Rangers and stuff. So we're up at the top of Haven, just and we're dipping out, and we're like, I'm with my buddy Wade, and he's got like a Ford Ranger at the time, and he's like, hey, there's like some hills we can like drive over in Chaffey College.
Oh no.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and there's like, because there's parking lots, and there's just like little hills to get to the parking lot, like top different sections.
Yeah.
So he's driving up these little hills, nothing like insane, like we're not fucking making dirt shit everywhere. We're just kind of going up these little dirt hills, but which is frowned upon, I guess. Yeah. But what we didn't know is that there's campus security there 24/7. So we're doing that shit, and we just hear an intercom throughout the entire college. They're green Ford Ranger, they're driving up the hill. We're like, oh, we got to get the fuck out of here. So we start dipping out, and then there's 2 like SUV cops pull us over, and we're pulled off to the side of the road. Well, I mean, and like still in the college. It's a pretty big campus, and we're pulled over, and this guy comes up, and he's talking. He's like, what the fuck you guys doing? I'm like, oh, we're just being stupid, just driving up these little dirt hills. So I have a truck. Trucks belong on dirt, and so I'm just putting my truck where it belongs.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, well, they're like, okay, well, you were here last night, though, right? And he was like, no. And we, honest to God, we weren't. I mean, not even just but Wade alone, his truck, he wasn't. It was like a fucking maybe a Thursday night or something. Yeah. When the night happened was Friday, but I was like, we weren't there the night before. And they're like, no, you were here last night. You in another truck. And he was like, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, we're going to run your shit, whatever. And he goes back. And then we were with a group of people, and my buddy, Christian Roth.
There you go.
Calls me. Hey, where you at? I'm like, dude, I'm on the phone. I'm like, dude, I'm at fucking. And by the way, as this is happening, I think I've already talked to this on the podcast before, but he's got fucking the windows, and you roll down. And so Wade rolled down his window, and there's a fucking another deputy, like, or whatever, the fuck, Chaffey Police, whatever they're called, comes in my window and goes, roll your shit down. And I was like, all right, cool. And I rolled down. I'm like, this guy's just watching me. I'm like, well, fucking, we're good. But we're parked next to a fucking grass field, and the sprinklers just turn on, and I'm just sitting there just getting fucking soaking wet. And I'm like,
dude,
It's coming back, and I'm just getting fucking hit by these sprinklers. I'm like, I want to roll this window up, but it's gonna be some sketch. Like, can I roll this? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking sit here and take it. And then, Brady Christian calls me. He goes, "Where you at?" I'm like, "Dude, we're at Chaffey College. You just got pulled over by the police." He goes, "I want to come through." I'm like, "No.
Don't do that.
I was like, "Don't fucking. Why would you come? No, I gotta go. Bye." He goes, "Come on, let me come through." I'm like, "No, bye." And I hung up. And the time Christian had like 215 subs, which is fucking insanely loud in the back seat of his car. And he's got like 4 other heads with him. And we're fucking sitting there. Everything's going smoothly. The guy comes back. He's talking to Wade. And then fucking Christian comes pulling around, dude. And like, I remember so vividly just seeing, I looked at him and he's driving and I see him. And then like the back window is rolled down and his friend Bobby, our friend Bobby Sewell's in the back. Yeah. And I see both their faces go. And like they're actually are getting pulled over. Yeah. I'm like, why the fuck would I just say that and hang up? They didn't believe, like, no. I'm like, no, what are you doing? So they like come pulling around. I see them both like drop their faces, and like one of the cops goes fucking pulls them over. Wow. First cop guy, the first guy comes back and goes, "That was the other car you were here with last night. Oh, get the fuck out of the car." And he opens up the car door, dude, and all Wade's shit falls out because he's got all his stuff in his like little like everything falls out. He goes like, okay. He goes, I want to let you know, I do have a knife. There's a knife in the car. He's like, get out the fucking. And he like, grabs Wade, throws him in the fucking hood of the cop car, and the fucking the SUV. And I'm just fucking sitting there, just like, oh my god. I'm like, do I text somebody right now? And as this is happening, I'm just still getting fucking shoot in the face by this fucking sprinkler. I'm getting soaking wet. And I'm like, this is fucking horrible. And then like so much time passed. I was just kind of like, do they still know I'm here?
Do they know?
And, that's when you're kind of like, it's like the idea where like, when you're a kid, you're like in bed, you're like, if I like put the blankets over me, the monster's not going to know I'm here. So I'm just fucking sitting there like, I don't think they know I'm still here.
They don't fuck around there at Chief.
I was like, maybe they just take this guy to prison. I'm just like, good. Guy comes back, he goes, "Yeah, get out of the car too." I was like, "Fuck, all right." Jesus. I was like, "There's no knife on me though, sir. I mean, I don't fucking knife. What am I gonna do? A knife?" Oh, yeah. I'm like, "I'll get a gun, but not yet." And then I'm like, we're both in the hood of the cop car, and like he like calls Wade's mom. And she's like, "Wade, get home," and we just took off. But it was just so funny because it was this. First of all, I'm getting soaking wet, but just him getting in the car and fucking, he's like, "I have a knife. There's a knife in the car." But like there was a knife, but there was also like high school shit. There was a fucking massive like foot-long double-sided knife that was also hidden in there. And I'm like, damn, bro.
Wade's armed to the teeth. My dad took my sister and I to go practice driving up in Chaffey one time when he was trying to be a good dad. And we fucking got pulled over. We got swarmed by like 2 SUVs out of nowhere. Yeah. And they were like, "You cannot be here. You don't you can come back and show us a permit and we'll let you try," or something. And it's like, no, I'm not going to fucking come back now. Like, obviously I did something wrong and you guys are douchebags about it. I was a security guard for a year, bro. That job is so...
Where at?
Everywhere. So I used to do like private security. I used to do armed guard security. But most of the time I was just sitting in a car watching a cement site over in Colton. And, bro, we had a police chase come through one time. And, like, it's right off the 10 freeway or, like, the 210. Kind of near like Funtucky, Cherry Avenue, like just the more and more you go out there, the more and more you're like, fuck, this is like San Bernardino ghetto, like this sucks. Yeah. Off the freeway, you could hear the police chase, and I just kind of like make rounds in a car, and then go back to the gate and chill. Make rounds in the car, come back to the gate. Like every hour, you're kind of moving, So most of the time, you have 45 minutes of doing nothing. Yeah. I'm at the gate, and out of nowhere, I just see like GTA, a car, and it's like a minivan. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's coming. I'm like,
and you're on the clock. You're working.
I'm on the clock. I'm sitting in the car, and my first thought is to like get out of the car. And it's like, no, stay in the car. Don't move the car, but stay in the car. Yeah. And they come through, and like 4 or 5 squad cars go through, and they go through the cement site. It's around 2 square miles. The craziest part, it was a cement site, so there's heavy vehicles going, like huge dump trucks, all that stuff. They slow down, they stop. The guys like run over, like, "What the fuck, security? What are you good for?" It's like, you want me to like...
Do you have a gun on you?
No, I can't detain the person and like put my car blocking.
What do you just call the police kind of thing? Or
ever seen the movie Observe and Report with Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
That's literally.
I feel like you just all you can really do is just kind of threaten people who are scared.
Now it's your problem. Yeah. Like my buddy Matt Crillo, I didn't work at the Ontario Mills, but we had a lot of friends that worked for Allied Services, and they're contracted for malls and stuff. You get the laziest people. Matt Crillo used to ride around on a little Segway, and it's like 250 pounds, just like
some Paul Blart
looking motherfucker, just living up the role. And like,
I feel like with that experience, like if I was at like Ontario Mills and like something happened, I'm like getting like detained by those guys.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? But like you, with knowing your experience as
Yeah.
a security guard and what they can and can't do, you just be like, guys, are we
I-
done here?
I don't do
You know?
authority well. So, like, if it's a cop and they're going to threaten me, that's fine. But, like, we went to the Post Malone concert, and we got there late, and we had to wait for a bunch of parking and
Where'd you
stuff.
go? The one saying
It was
there,
at
or-
Chula Vista.
okay.
And my stepbrother was on tour with Beach Fossils, so he got us tickets
Oh,
for
okay,
free.
yeah.
And I'm not saying I don't like Post Malone. I don't. Like, I don't listen.
You just listen to him, yeah.
Yeah, I know some of his songs, and he's very talented, obviously. I had a great time, right? The entire time, it was like, oh, no, not this line, this line. Oh, no, your tickets are over here. So I'm just doing the max it. I'm just going places. Now, you can't go here. Like, I was told by so-and-so. And they're like, okay. And they let me through. And I go somewhere else. They're like, oh, you have to go to this office. We finally get the tickets, and we get the wrong spot. And so it's like row E instead of row L, right? And I finally have me, my girl, her family, and then this drunk guy comes up to me. He's like, hey, asshole, that's my wife's a nice spot. I'm going to make you my ass wipe. And like, he's so drunk, his insults don't even make sense. And I thought to myself, I'm like, this is
I'm
not...
gonna put me in your ass.
Yeah, I'm
You're
not
like,
going to go to
wait.
jail at a Post Malone concert with Post Malone on stage being naked wearing Daisy Dukes. Like,
Yeah,
this isn't
yeah,
okay.
he was doing that. Yeah.
It was a weird... It was like... It was just... I don't know. I was happy that I had self-control, but at the same time, it's like, if my girl's family wasn't here, it was a mistake, bro. Don't fucking insult me over the wrong tickets, you know? It's all dark, and we got there super late. When you go to something that's so mainstream and so hype and everyone's going to it, you lose a lot of the soul and like the integrity.
Yeah, no, you do. I mean, I'm to go see him. I think maybe like 2 weekends ago now.
At Glen Helen?
At Glen Helen, yeah.
That was his last stop.
It was fun. We got like fucking. We show up there. We were like, it was $100. Well, I mean, parking was free, but like,
Okay.
we were like, we show up there early to tailgate,
Yeah.
and I didn't think about it, but they were like, yeah, I mean, you can pay close or far for free. And I was thinking like, what one's good for tailgating? But everyone was immediately like, one guy's like, I'll pay $50, you know, or I'll throw it in for the, you know, and everyone just kind of chipped in a little bit. I didn't pay shit, but it was $100 to park, which was fucking insane. We had a good time. I was also tired as fuck. I got like 3 hours of sleep because I just woke up. I just couldn't, because if I drink like the night, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it was fun. We're all there hanging out, and dude, there was like a big ass group of us, and at one point I'm fucking sitting there, and I'm like, you know, I'm always like, I feel like in life that if you're confident, if you're confident about something, you're fine.
Yep.
So I'm
go
like,
with it.
I'm just gonna fucking just walk up as close as I possibly can, and just because I've done that before, I'm like, I'm just gonna act like I fucking
At the concert to the stage?
yeah. Because there's been so many times where it's like,
Where were
even
your
if
tickets?
we got lawn,
Okay,
like
so it's
$50.
like the pit?
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Well, the pit is like where the seating is, and like the fucking cheapest pit was like
Yeah.
$250.
Okay, yeah, I know.
And when I got, I was like, I'll just do $50 for lawn. I'm like, it's not. It's.
How
I
much
mean,
were
I've been there.
tickets?
I think it came out to fucking like $20 with taxing, but it
That's
$20 on top of the it came out to like 70.
Is that worth it to you to see that?
Yeah, because the whole experience of the entire day, like it was an entire like
That's
from
true.
like 3 to fucking. I lost my voice. I wasn't even yelling, and then
Yeah.
it was worth it. But because we showed with a big group, we made it worth it. You know,
Yeah.
the concert. I mean, would the concert alone be worth $70? I don't know, but
Yeah.
because we showed up there fucking like 4 or 5 hours early, pre-gamed, and the fucking so much funny shit happened, dude. We're just like,
Yeah.
you know, people were just pissing in bottles, you know, a bunch of crazy shit.
My stepbrother got those tickets, and his mom, my stepmom, was like, "I hope you know that those tickets were like $400 or $500." And it's like,
Well, some of them, yeah, with the seating,
I don't care.
yeah,
Like
fucking ridiculous.
I only
yeah.
went because he made it happen. You know what I'm saying? But like, they were great seats.
There was a girl, Nikki Charcher, I don't know. She was in, I think, your grade. She was like the senior president, I think,
Okay.
of your grade. She went with like her girlfriend, and she was like fucking railing, and like bought like, I was like, I don't know how much she spent. Like she posted about it, and she's like, I spent way too much money for this, but it was worth it. But I'm like,
yeah.
I get it. You know, it's dope. I mean, Post Malone's, I feel like a cool guy. But when we were there, I was like, I'm gonna see how close I can get.
Absolutely.
And one of my Logan, you know, he's like, I'm gonna go with you. And in my head, I'm like, that's dope. I like if I do get in there, I'm like, oh, somebody else needs to be with me. But where I'm at, like the way to get in there, it's gonna be a lot harder with another person.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of scouting it out. Look, we leave the group for fucking like 4 or 5 minutes. We're like scouting it out. Logan's like, nah, we're not gonna do it. I was like, okay, cool, whatever, it doesn't matter. I was like, I was just gonna take a video. So we go back. We're gone for fucking 4 or 5 minutes, and a massive brawl happened that we like completely missed. Where everyone's staying because we like lose. It's fucking so big that we're
It's
like
crazy,
I was like,
bro.
oh shit. We eventually found our group, and everyone's standing up, and everyone's like fucking distraught. Like what's going on? And like I was like, I walk up and I was like, what's going on? And they're like, a fucking massive fight just happened. I was like, from what?
Yeah.
And everyone, and dude, I swear to God, I say this, I'm like, this was destiny for me to get up to fucking see if I can get up there, because everyone was sitting down in the grass and two guys were fighting and they fell into like our group. And then like other people saw that and they thought like our group was fighting too. And then like one of my friends who was just sitting there just got in a fucking chokehold and he's like punching this guy and like everyone just but like what they initially fell into was right where I was sitting. Like they fell like in, because my friend Wade and Ethan are sitting there and I was between them and they're kind of like still there. They fell in between them and hit them both, but they were spread apart because I was sitting there and I just would have been fucking right in the middle of it.
Out of all of your friends, I'm asking you this honestly, who's the fighter?
Who would fight?
Who's gonna fight? I'm being on. I don't see any of because if I was in that position, I would be fearful because everyone looks at me to be like, dude, Max is in a fucking fight right now. Take care of that shit. So when you said you weren't there and they fell right there, I'm like, I
guess out of the people there, because I mean, obviously, like Dom Hogin, like I feel like the first, he would fight. You know what I mean? People, I know definitely people who would fight. Like I know people who would fight.
Stick up for your group, man. Those
who would be there? I mean, technically, Jacob did fucking throw hands.
Good.
I guess I wasn't
Jacob
there.
Who?
This is Jenkins. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I guess he did, but I feel like everybody there, Wade would for sure.
I can see Wade doing that. It was good to see Wade the other night, bro.
Because dude, everybody else was so fucking high. Like they were like, dude, when that fight happened, that two girls sat next to like the group, and like one of my Ryan Stanton, I think he was on your grade. He was like talking to him and stuff like that, and then like. I'm just having a good like I don't care shit about talking to girls, and so he comes and sits next to me. I'm like, what are you doing? Go Riz. Go Riz. Yeah. And he looks at me. He's like, dude, I am so fucking high. I was like, I can't even talk to him. Yeah. Do you get that high, or do they just can't talk to people?
My girl, like, I'm blessed because she used to not have a tolerance, and then I'm like, you know what? You're gonna smoke like me. So we just get, bro. We're like the most. We try to like. We don't go to hang out with other couples like we want to. Our best friends are 6-year-old people because he helps me with my weed shit and stuff like that.
6-year-old?
60-year-old.
Oh, okay.
He's like, yeah, no. I'm not going back to jail. I told you.
Wait, you've been in jail?
No. No. That's another podcast. I'm so blessed I don't have a record. I honestly don't have one. I should have one.
I got a speeding ticket and that was off the record.
See, I don't even have that, which is cool. My mom stole my handgun from me when I was working for security, and I had to report it stolen. So I had to involve like a police case and all that shit like that, and I never got my handgun back. And fuck Rancho PD through and through. But like I don't have.
Wait, did you tell them that your mom stole it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then,
I didn't know if it was just like you're like that's gone.
In the state of California, if it's under $900, it's not even considered petty theft anymore. So they were like, "Your mom stole your handgun. That's crazy. It must be your fault.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it as evidence, and you don't know." I'm not gonna sue my mom, but at the same time, if my gun goes missing and it's in my name and it's over 48 hours and I know that it's missing, it's a felony. So I'm not gonna let my mom give me a felony because she's being a dumb bitch.
How'd you know it was your mom that took it?
She's a dumb bitch.
Yeah.
It's me and her in a house, and the whole conversation was that I was like 21 now and I need to get a handgun for my work, and like, she was a drug addict. So when I got out of rehab, it was really complicated because it's like, hey, I'm clean and sober, but yet you're still doing drugs, and like I'm trying to like put my life together. If you're a guard, you make what, minimum wage? If you're an armed guard, you can make a good amount more per hour. So that's kind of what I was going for. And then I realized you can make a lot of money with no guard card and a gun. So I kind of just
guard card.
Yeah, no guard card.
What's a guard card look like?
So a guard card is
some fucking SpongeBob.
It's a literal like fucking like salty spittoon. How tough are you? Because anybody can go become a security guard. It's literally just like observe and report. So,
but I mean, realistically, I think that's one job where it's like if there's a little scrawny, like sometimes I'll be somewhere and there's like a little fucking girl, and I'm not gonna like do anything differently because you're a security guard.
Exactly.
But in my head, if something happens, you're not gonna do anything.
You're a pregnant woman.
Yeah, like, she's pregnant. Yeah. She's fucking 4'9",
and like when you're sitting in a car driving around, that's fine, I guess. But like, bro, you could be a security guard and at least just stand there, not smile, and look way more serious. Yeah. Right? A lot of the best events I ever had, private events, they pay you wear a suit, have a gun, don't have a gun. Most likely don't have a gun because they don't have the insurance. I work with people who don't give a shit. They want their people to be safe. And it's like, cool, I'm not asking questions. I was working at the CBD shop, and the fucking stupid ass owner there, he fucking was like, yeah, you need to carry a gun. It's like, why? He's like, well, you don't know. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not caring. If you can't give me a real reason why you want me to protect you, then you don't need to be protected.
Why wouldn't you? You just don't want to carry a gun for your own protection kind
In
of
the
thing?
state of California, you have to have a concealed carry permit.
Okay.
Meaning,
Is that hard to get?
yeah.
'Cause I know some people have it.
It's a Second Amendment.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like it covers your ass, sure, when you get pulled over. But guess what? When someone asks me if there's something illegal in my car and the gun's in my name, that's not illegal.
Yeah.
Now, am I stupid enough to tell a cop there's a gun in my car? No, I'll tell him. Like, there's nuances to every situation.
Yeah.
Now, if I get pulled over by a female cop, the first thing I'm telling her, there's a gun in my car, because I'm not gonna have her be like, "Well, you're reaching for your phone," and just shoot me 4 times, you know. Or she thinks I'm a pit bull or something, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a time and place for everything, and a lot of people, I think, especially in this state, they're afraid of guns. They never got taught about guns. And like, you are a gun owner, I'm a gun owner. We don't go around our entire lives preaching about guns, but when I do meet people that want to learn about it, guess what? I take them out.
Yeah.
I let them learn. I show
Like
them.
it's more for fun than protection.
It's way more for fun, bro. And at the end of the day, crime has gone through the roof. LA fucking sucks. All the laws, there's no more bail. You're committing crimes and going back on the streets. Right now is the best time. If Obama was the best gun salesman ever, I think Joe Biden just fucking beat him.
Yeah.
Like, you really need to arm yourself nowadays.
Dude, I did a podcast last week, but before that was like maybe like a month ago. And we come back to the bar. I haven't even edited the podcast. I'll probably do it eventually, but for a time I didn't really want to. But it's me, my friend Matt, and my friend Jordan I went to high school with. And we were
shooting each other?
No. She like got like pretty much engaged and like almost married to. I think they were married or something like that. But like we just hang out all the time. And then she met this guy. Then she just kind of like didn't really. And then I was like, let's hang out. I was like, okay, cool. So we meet up at this bar, and then like she with her 2 friends, and then she goes, it's like she like her friends see that she's texting because she. Okay, so let me start over.
Yeah, naked.
So
Spill the beans.
So me and her used to hang out all the time.
Yeah.
Me, her, and Russell. We'd always go to her house for like 2 years. Like it was fucking like the clique. It was just us 3. She met this guy, and then she became she got engaged to him. She was like living with him and stuff like that. I met him like once, you know, but I hit her up every now and then, like, come hang out, and she's like, nah. Like she would just reply the next day, like, sorry, I was asleep, whatever. I get it.
Tyrone doesn't like when I have friends. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she hits me. I was like, hey, we're all going out, like hanging out. And I was like, okay. And I knew something was up because I'm like, she's just like, it's like how
Urgent.
she used to be. And like when people like get out of relationships, they like lash out. They do stupid, crazy shit all the time.
Yep.
So I was like, this seems like one of those. So I didn't do it the first week, but the second week she hit me up again. She goes, let's hang out. I was like, okay, cool. So I met up with her and her 2 friends. We're all hanging out, and I found out that she's like not with that guy anymore. But they built a house for them, like in the back of like a house, like up at the top of Burl, which is pretty cool.
That's very cool.
At the time, I haven't seen it, and I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know they weren't together, but I just kind of assumed, you know.
Yeah.
And then throughout the night, the guy's texting her, and he's like at the house for some reason, and my friend's like, he's not supposed to be there. Like, they're stopped talking. They broke up like months ago. Like, why is he there? And her friend's like, you're coming back to our house, and she's like, no, I'm gonna go home. And she was like stubborn. She's like, I'm going back to my house.
Yeah.
So I told her friend, because her friends wanted to leave, and I told her friends like, she can just come over to my house, we hang out, and then I'll just take her home later. You know, she's not gonna go with you guys. It's fine. You guys can go. So come back here. We're hanging out for like 45 minutes, and then we're all talking. She's like, let's do a podcast. Like, okay, cool. So me, my friend Matt, and then her do a podcast and having a good time. And then like about 45 minutes in,
She's like, help, I need
45 minutes in, the fucking guy comes through that door.
No fucking way.
And
During the podcast?
During the podcast.
Bro, that's 2 bullets to the fucking chest right there.
And I was like, hey, like immediately I was like, hey, come sit down.
Nice.
I swear to God, I was like,
Fuck
hey, how you doing, buddy?
All
Come
right,
sit
cool
down.
cover,
Something
yeah.
like, you know. And he looks at her, he goes, really? You're fucking, I forgot what he said. Like, you're fucking 20 minutes away. She was like, I'm 20 minutes away. I'm not going to be home. You know, whatever. Something like that.
Okay, yeah.
He goes, really? Dude, the guy slams that door he slams it that the handle breaks off. All these cameras, I haven't really edited it, but I glimpsed over it. All these, because they're all mounted to the wall, they all just dip down a little bit. Like all the cameras go down because he slams it so fucking hard. He slams that. He does something in the hallway. I hear a bunch of bangs. And I'm like, I don't know what he. I think he like broke the handle off, and I think he hit the door at the handle because it seems like there's marks on it. And then he fucking goes to that door, slams that door, and I'm like,
Who the fuck?
I look at Matt, I'm like, can you help me with this? Like, what's going on? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, because there's a lot of things going through my head. First of all, how'd this guy get in the
How
house?
he had a body. Yeah.
Realistically, I think I didn't lock the door completely because when we left the bar, I told like my friends to come over, but they ended
How
up
does
just
he
not.
know where she is?
She said she does. She's like, he doesn't have my location, but clearly he had to have. I watched the security cameras because I have fucking cameras all throughout the house. This guy like comes in, like he's like got my front doors looking through. He doesn't even know this is the exact house. It's just if you find my friends, if you look at it, it's like
That's creepy.
He
bro.
comes in my house, dude. He goes upstairs.
He just guessed right.
He just goes through all the rooms. Like, thank God no one's home. Like, dogs are in the middle of the room. They're all scared too. By the time I realized
Are
he
you
went
here
there.
the most often?
Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
He goes like out back. He went throughout the entire house besides this fucking room. Comes in, slams that door, slams on the door. He flips over like one of the couches out there, grabs the dining room table or chair, throws it at the door. No damage was ever made except for he hit the door. Obviously the handle came off, but I just popped it back on. But the moldings were kind of like hairline cracked because of the paint just kind of chipped. But I just kind of like just nothing. The guy was kind of a pussy when it came to like damages.
Sounds like a pussy.
And then he walked out. Matt's like, fuck this guy. He locked the door. And my front door is glass. So he's banging on the glass door. I was like, I don't want to break shit. I was like, open it back. I was like, dude, you're fine, bro. What's the fucking problem here?
Yeah.
And he's just mad because she wasn't like replying to him. Not because he thought she was fucking us or anything like that.
Yeah.
He was just mad that, I don't know. So we ended up calling 911 and shit like that. We're up with that. Dude, by the way, I realized the cops are fucking useless. I called them like 4 or 5 times that night.
You were in Rancho,
and I'm like,
Cucamonga.
come here, and they're like this. Well, what do you eat today? I'm like, what is that? Just fucking, what is this? Can we just...
what's your astrological
Yeah,
sign?
what's your-
Are you
what's your-
Aquarius?
Yeah,
Because
no,
this
yeah.
is really Aquarius activity right
Yeah.
now. It's like,
I'm like, just fucking get it. And they end
I'm
up,
shot. Like, I'm bleeding. I don't have time for this.
he was like shoving her against the car and shit. I was out in the back calling the police, and they just take off. And then I call her dad. We're up fucking till 5:30 in the morning. The police show up at one point, and we're like, they're out front, and I'm talking to them, and they're shining the light. And I told them like, it's not that house, it's the back house. They're shining the lights. I'm like, I know they can't just walk back there, so
Yeah.
they're shining the fucking flashlights up there. She calls me,
doing like puppet fingers.
Yeah,
and shit.
they-
You
yeah,
see
no,
a
right.
rabbit?
hey, sick the dog. I'm like, what is going on here? And so they're like, well, we can't really do anything. I'm like, okay, well, if I call her down, I'm like, you got to get here. This guy gets here in he's like, I'm an hour away, gets there in like 25 minutes. But before he gets to the police are there at the time. I was like, her dad's on the way. He'll be here in 10 minutes. And
Her dad.
her dad,
Good.
to let you in the house to get fucking back there or whatever. Because I'm like, I'm not leaving her like back there with this guy. This guy's fucking insane, dude. I was like, this guy's just gonna break into some random house and
Yeah.
fuck. He was throwing her fucking around. He was throwing her phone. I was like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving her alone with her. So the cops are like, okay, wait. She calls me, bro, and I answer it, and she's just like crying hysterically. She's like, just please go away. I love you. I love you. I'm like, I'm not going. I told her, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. She's like, She goes, who you with? I was like, I'm by myself. She goes, who are you with? Because she knew the fucking police were there because of the lights. So we're with 2 deputies. Just come out. Just come talk to me. She's like, no. I was like, where's he at? She goes, I don't know. Fucking the car's out front. I was like, what do you mean? Like, okay, you don't know. Come outside. She goes, he just walked away. Clearly, I found out he was sitting next to her the entire time, like a hostage situation.
That's terrifying.
So the cops are like, well, we got other calls. I'm like, what, dog? What do you go? What other calls you got?
Yeah.
Fucking, fireworks going off. I'm like, well, we gotta go. I was like, okay. I'm like, do you have a number I can call you? Because I called them like so many times. That I'm like, can I just have a number for you guys?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And they gave me a number that when I did call, I was like, boop, boop, boop. This number is not in service. I'm like, what the fuck kind of police is this? You know? So then they take off. I call her dad back. Her dad's like, I'm gonna fucking go to jail tonight. Like, her dad's gonna fucking kill this kid. And I was
That's
like,
what I was
okay.
waiting for, yeah.
So then, but the police are like, call us when he's almost there. And I call him back, but you gotta get here now because this guy's going to fucking jail. He's like already like committed to it. Like when he said that too, he was like, I'm going to fucking jail tonight.
Like it's on the agenda.
I like paused. I was like, what do I say to that? I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, what?
You might be.
Yeah. I was like,
I think.
I was like, well, we'll be here. You know what I mean? And like, dude, they come out and they're yelling and shit. And we like hide and shit. So I'm like, I don't know if this guy's got a gun. I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. But everyone just shows up, dude. They end up just kicking him out. He's fucking crying. Like everyone's just crying and shit. I'm just kind of fucking sitting there. I'm like,
Just got really sad out of nowhere.
The sun's coming up, dude. Her mom's there. I've never seen before. It's bawling. The sun's coming up. I just want to go home, bro. I don't want to fucking. I was just trying to do a goddamn podcast, dude. But
That's insane.
I haven't edited it because I was like,
How long ago was this?
Probably like maybe 5 weeks. Well, I don't know. Actually, maybe longer
So
than that.
what is your? I mean, I know we're on a podcast right now, but what's your retaliation going to look like for a guy? You're going to go into his podcast and slam his door?
No, that guy's not gonna have shit, dude. That guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Sounds like it.
I mean, I personally just didn't want to watch it because I was kind of like, I mean,
It's evidence.
pussy is. I was kind of a little traumatized just because this guy just kind of like fucking violent just came into the house. You know, when I got home, I was like hanging out there for a little bit. I was like, I want to go home because I feel like this guy might come to my house and fucking do some crazy shit. You know,
that's kinda what
I want to go back to my house. So I went back here and then I checked the security cameras. I saw he went upstairs. Like, oh my god, all the doors are open except for like I got the dogs up there listening to their favorite ASMR or their fucking lo-fi hip hop 24/7. I opened the door and they're all hiding in the couch. There's two of them. They're hiding under the couch, like the bed, which I've never seen them before.
Yeah.
Do that. Which I know he didn't like do anything to the dogs because at the time he didn't even know this is the right fucking house.
It's like ASMR. This shit sucks. And
Yeah.
slams the door. Like, we're so insulted.
But I'm like, dude, what the fuck? This fucking idiot.
I would not handle that well. My grandma, she's like, well, someone's just gonna come to your house and like take what they want from us. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, they're not. Because guess what? I don't invite that around. And I've had people. I've had this guy that I would front weed to all the time, and he'd pay me like $200 increments, and worked out a couple times until it didn't. The last time it didn't work out, he owed me like $400. But that time when he came to get weed, came to my house. He's like, "Oh, my homie Mario, who you've never met before, and who's like actively mad dogging you through the fucking steering wheel.
Yeah.
He wants to like come and check out your grow." I'm like, "Then why doesn't Mario get out of the car and ask me?
Yeah.
Like, why is Mario like hiding?" And I'm like, "You know what, man? I'm cool. I'll just do business." And then like a week later, he blocked me on everything. He still owes me like $400. And it's funny because I know where he lives. I know his address. I know his wife's last name. I know what car they drive. I know what kind of dog they have. I know all that stuff, right?
I know their sleeping schedules. I know their fears. I know their
Why
security
wouldn't I?
number.
Dude, do you know how easy it is for me to cause $400 of damage on your life?
Yeah.
But I don't need to. I need you to know that it cost me $400 or $500 to never deal business with those fuckers again.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I retaliated.
You learn from it, yeah.
It's like the microphone. It's like my first thought was like, fuck them. I'm going to go to their mic and shit all over them. It's like, nope, I can buy a fucking microphone. It was a nice mic, but not as nice as these. I just, it's mental. It's the mental, like, what are you going to put yourself through? Because they're stupid. They don't have a lot of IQ. Yeah. They're going to fucking not lose any sleep over stealing your shit or barging into your fucking studio.
I mean, what I learned is, I forgot, I don't know what the situation was, but a police told me this. Somebody told me this, that was fucking a policeman, and they were saying that there's less risk, more reward. Like, they're not trying to they're obviously just probably anybody who's going to break into a house, if they're like decent enough to think that they're going to be like, I could get fucking shot and killed to doing this. So they're just trying to steal what they can and like not like that. Because you were kind of worried, like, I mean, most people are like, somebody's going to come in and kill me. No one's going to just fucking come in and kill you. They're just going to come in and fucking steal your shit and try to get out without you even noticing.
In the state of California, it's really tricky because people are like, well, if you shoot them and they don't have a gun, then they can sue you. It's like, if you're coming into my house thinking that you're going to leave my house, then that's all. I'm not going to let you live and then be like, oh, he got a good lawyer.
I always hear that, too.
He's fucking dead. Like,
if
he's
you're
not going to
shoot him, you got to kill him.
Yeah, no, there's no shoot to... A gun is the ultimate tool because its job is to kill people. And I hate saying that out loud, but you don't use a hammer to make pancakes.
Yeah.
You don't sit in a fucking garage. It doesn't make you a car. Yeah. Like, it's respect and, like, to know that it's a tool. And, bro, I hang out with people that rob each other. And they have guns on them all the time. And it's just to be that guy. Yeah. It's to have the cash and to live that lifestyle. And it's like, bro, instead of being a middleman, why don't you be the factory? Why don't you start growing the weed, learning about this stuff? It's like, well, I'd rather just have a white Mercedes.
Yeah, instead of being a middleman, be a top or bottom. You know
exactly. I mean? I make so much money down low. They call me the power bottom. I make real good money.
Dude. All right, I got two. I have a lot of videos I could show you, but I got two of them I'm gonna bring up. First one. All right, I gotta have you close your eyes for this one because a lot of times I'll show something and you won't really you won't know what it is. Like, people are like, okay, I see something's kind of going on. This you'll immediately know. So let me just open this real quick.
I'm closing my.
And this is one of those things where it's because I'd love to show everything I can on here because. A lot of times I'll show shit that I'm like, I can't like. Oh, a lot of times I'm like, I can't show this, but it's just like it's like at the boundary. I'm like, it's not.
See, the boundary is where I live. That little thin eye, like, don't push me. I'm close to the. God damn it! Why'd I look up?
Just wait.
God damn it!
That's a guy in the middle.
Oh, there's a person in there. Yeah. Oh, bro, what the fuck?
So it's two big ass, fucking fat black cooties, dude.
Dude, do you think that guy's paying for that?
Fetish freak
Yeah,
safari.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So he's probably not paying for it. He's probably not paying for it, but he's probably getting. Well, I don't know. He's probably getting paid $20 to be a part of this.
Yep. It's like, hey, you're not getting paid for it, but buckle up. He's like, this is just my dream.
But I was showing this video to see. What is that? What's that white shit? Is that like just heavy whipping cream?
It's mayonnaise.
You think it's mayonnaise?
Yeah,
You think it's like suntan
Hellsman's.
lotion?
Yeah.
Just a guy just being smothered by two butts in the middle of it.
Suntan.
Well, like what is
Let
it?
me
Like
tell you,
suntan
it's
lotion?
definitely
Like,
not suntan lotion.
You don't think it's 50 SPF, 100 SPF? Fucking.
Bro, dude, the sound effects are gnarly. It reminds me of the fucking, what is that, Madagascar? Like, I like them big. It's just the hippos just doing that.
Dude, you ever been in that situation?
No, thank God.
I don't know if I would want to.
No, I'm glad that he was in that situation, though. You know, I think for both of us.
Yeah, I mean,
He was quiet the entire time, not like enjoying it, not breathing, not
my thing
angry.
is like, if you're doing that sexually, like obviously it's being filmed, so it's a different purpose.
That's true.
But why? I feel like ideally you would be flipped upside down, so like one of them's like doing something to your dick. You know, he's laying down.
No,
he's
that's
he's
the
just
thing.
like he's just like getting just smothered by two butts.
He was in that position, and he was like, "No, you over here, and she over
Yeah.
here." And she's like, "I never." He's like, "Shut up! I don't care. This is how we're doing this.
I've done this before.
Yeah. Get the mayonnaise.
Get the 1,000 SPF. Yeah. Is it SPF?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
But I mean, dude, I saw that. I was like, it's fucking so funny. I had a buddy who had like crazy. He was sick, and one of his eyes was like fucking bloodshot, like red. And I was like, dude, I think I know what happened. And I sent him that video. I was like, did you do this, dude? And he was like,
Bro.
what the fuck, dude?
Okay, that job that I used to work at, making the distillate, you had to wear eye covers, you had to wear beard covers, all of it, because it's think of keef. You know what keef is, right?
Mm-hmm.
From when you grind the okay. It's that, but it's like times 1,000 because it's like the particulates in the air, right? So no matter what you do, no matter goggles you wear, you're still gonna get shit in your eyes. You know?
Yeah.
Within the first 2 weeks of working there, Spencer, I had I think it's called a sty.
Yeah.
It's like a pimple on your eye, kind of.
Your lids, yeah.
I went to the manager there and I said, "Hey, I know I have goggles and beard masks and stuff, but like I need something else." And the first response was, "Wait, so you think you got that from here? From working here?" And it's like, I've been in the same relationship with the same girl for 2.5 years. This is not pink eye. I didn't fart on a pillow. Like, fuck you for assuming that, you know? But
was it like a joke? Because I feel like if you said that to me, I'm like, hey, how'd you get that?
See,
you know what I mean? But it
when
comes
I
to tone
worked
and
at
attitude.
that place, bro, the management was like one of the main reasons I quit is because they were like this like Irvine white guy that he was like, "Oh, bro, I used to work in like brewery, and that's why I work in the weed industry because hops and cannabis are very similar." And it's like, no, you're not. That's not a good. And then he said that joke to me with like no inflection, no tone, no nothing. So I was like,
more serious.
I
yeah.
interpreted it as serious. And then my lead, his name was Brian, super like Santa Ana Mexican ghetto, nice guy, but he was like, "Yeah, I got a gun in my game, and I got the burner in case I have to use it." That kind of guy. Respect it, full and through. I like the honesty. Didn't like white guys, and I could tell because the entire time with me training with him, he could just tell there was like some reluctancy or like I wasn't trying to kiss his ass, but I like kept having to ask questions because you felt like he wasn't explaining it. And then he would converse with the manager, and he would say like, "Hey, blah blah blah, how do you do this?" And the manager would say, "Hey Brian, I don't come to your fucking front lawn and tell you how to mow it." And you're like, so that wasn't even a good joke.
Yeah.
It was blatant racism.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, you were like this stereotypical like white guy that is so out of touch.
So
you know?
I love situations like me being on the other side, being told that because I love trolling and fucking with people.
Me too, man.
That like if I
see a button, I want to press it.
If somebody said that to me, I'd be like, "Oh no, I have a gardener, man." Like I would just like think of something so quick, like improv, and just be like, I'd be like, "Oh no, I don't." Like I would just like fucking like I would
Being
troll them
quick
so hard,
and
like
fucking with
I actually
them.
don't have grass in my front yard. It's all rocks and stuff.
Drought
so,
resistant.
like I would take it like so like serious. I'm like, no, I actually don't have any grass, dude. I just have gravel and stuff. Or like I actually live in an apartment and I don't have any like grass. But I wouldn't like make it sound like I'm like being like, oh,
Yeah.
you like fucked up.
You're like deflecting.
I love making it sound like I'm stupid and that they're like fucking smart.
They're right, yeah. And
Because
you're
in
like,
realistically,
no.
I'm like doing it on purpose. Like people are like, you know, once you grow grass, I'm like, I'll be like, what do you mean grass? What do you mean grass?
Yeah.
Like I act fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean? You don't know what fucking grass is? I'm like, I don't. What is that?
And then they're lost. Yeah.
And then they're thinking like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, so it makes them feel good, but realistically, I'm trolling the fuck out of them and they don't understand that. That's the best.
I
know it doesn't happen often, but like if it
Yeah.
does happen, I'm like, I'm doing that. I'm making them feel like they're a genius, but realistically, I'm fucking trolling them and they don't
It's like-
know it,
it's
which
like-
makes them stupid.
Trump and 4D chess. You're just two steps ahead of him, baby. No, I do the same thing because like I had a guy hit me up today about a podcast, and I posted something from our last clip when we were doing this, and he was like, I would love to have you on for the cannabis segment on my podcast. I said, sure. What does that consist of? He was like,
Cannabis
yeah,
segment.
segment.
So what are you gonna just come in for? Like you just gonna hang out and then he's like, okay. Cool.
I think it's gonna be all on like the phone because I think he's not local. And
Oh,
and
yeah,
my
call
friend
you, yeah.
that's the mutual thing. He's not local. He lives in Chicago, but he says to me, "How about November 8th or 15th?" And I said, "I might be dead by then." And he's like,
November
and
8th.
he's like, set.
He's got wait 2016
six
or
messages.
2026.
Yeah, he was just like, "Dude, don't say that. Don't no. Why would you think you're dead by then? No, I'm just booked. Don't take it." And I'm like, "Bro, this isn't gonna.
Yeah.
You're gonna want me to talk about something I'm serious about, and I know you want me to be serious. So then I'm not gonna take it serious.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, dude, you have to smoke pot. Smoke pot or not.
Pot or not. You're
Pot or
dating her.
not. There you go,
All right, I think I got one more video for you.
dude. Hell yeah. Now, how do you show that one? You can't show that last one on.
I'm just censor it on YouTube and shit like that.
Oh, hell
but
yeah.
Patreon, but Patreon's free. I have it for free. Like that's the thing is like I fucking
We should change that, bro.
this shit's funny as fuck. I know you can pay, like people can pay monthly, but it's just
Yeah.
like that's just like donation kind of thing.
Charge them $5 a month,
It is $5
and
because
then
that's like
you
the
and
lowest
I
you can set
have
it.
comics come on, and I host it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying you and I split the money. I'm saying there's potential with that money being made, be it that we put in the podcast. We
Yeah,
can get
I
a
mean, it's the idea.
I really think there's like people. You've taken this so serious that this is an actual studio. Because if I were to do it, I would probably do it at my house and have to make this happen somehow,
Yeah,
right?
It takes time, yeah.
Exactly,
I mean,
and
it's
it's like-
money, really. I mean, you can get this whole done if you have like fucking
Yeah, but I don't.
15 grand or
Yeah,
something.
I
but-
decided to make pot.
Yeah.
So
mean-
podcast, podcast.
I mean, there's some videos like last week. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll probably still. I'm gonna always cut it out. But there was a video I had on here for a long time because it was like there's a pendulum where it's like this is obviously like the car crash video I can post on YouTube. That's
Yeah.
fine. The butt thing I can't post on YouTube. I can blur it, but I can post it on Patreon, which is anything I guess. And then it was the fucking far other side of the pendulum where there was a video I saw a long time ago and I saw it again and I saved it and it's a fucking dog fucking a girl in doggy style.
Oh hell yeah!
But it's like kind of funny because it's just like the setup of it.
Yeah,
You know
is
what I
it
mean?
from-
I find
Is it from
humor in
eFucked?
everything.
What's it from?
I don't know, but I saw it again on Twitter.
There you go.
And I think first time I saw it was on eFucked,
Yeah.
and it was just a fucking dog. And like, but it's just funny because like you're like, is this actually happening? And then she like puts the camera like underneath, and you see it like you see the dog's balls smacking against.
Damn.
It's so fucking like it sounds
White
nasty,
people are insane,
and it is
bro.
nasty. But I'm gonna find humor in everything,
You
and I
have to,
laughed at
bro.
it, and I showed them that. And I don't know, but Logan's like, he's like, dude, you can't fucking post that. I'm like, obviously I can't post it. He goes, don't even fucking say that we watched that. But I'm like, I'm gonna
That's
say, I mean, it's
funny,
fine, gonna do it
bro.
anyways. But like shit like that is obvious. I'm like. I'm
Yeah.
probably not even gonna put that on Patreon because I don't think, in the end of it, I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to see that. If you really want to find it, you can just fucking Google it, I guess. But
Yeah.
for the
But
most
that's
part,
even the best part. Is like a trigger
but like
warning.
that butt thing, you know, obviously you can't post on YouTube. But I'm like, dude, if I saw that on YouTube, I would. What am I gonna get pissed? I'm like, that's fucking
You think
hilarious.
you
That's
could
gonna be my favorite podcast if I saw that.
Can
like
you play
that
the
episode.
sound effects?
Yeah, I'm gonna play the sound effects.
And
I
then-
mean, you don't even. You just hear.
Yeah,
just
that's the best
sloshing
part,
into
yeah.
fucking some mayonnaise, you know.
It's
But
fucking the weirdest.
But I mean, that's why I have it for free because I'm like, I don't want to fucking charge for something that I think should be free because I want to watch that on YouTube, but I
see,
can't.
You think it should be free, but like someone that we don't know that likes our content that would be more than happy to pay $5
Yeah.
a month. Because like I listen to Cumtown, and Cumtown isn't around anymore.
Oh yeah, they
broke up. And now
Stava
it's-
still did like
and
his thing, but
now it's Adam Friedland's show.
Yeah.
Does that mean I stop listening to Cumtown? No, but I'm not going to pay for a Patreon. But there's reruns of this shit,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking to a certain level of this stuff, be that Stranglehold Productions, be that the Funny Farm, be that Max and Spence's wonderful podcast. It needs to be monetized.
no, I get
Even
that.
if it's
yeah.
$5 or $500, we can both agree neither persons are going to pay for it. But I've been doing that because, like, when I sponsor these shows at the Ontario Improv, I shoot myself in the foot every time because people think, "Oh, you're fucking making money." I didn't make a single dollar when I did that.
Yeah.
I had
Which I don't think with everything like that
yeah,
you're not going
and that's
to.
the thing because like they're verbally telling me, "Well, Jason Ellis is going to do a bunch of reels for you." I haven't
Yeah.
seen one yet, and
Yeah, I
that's
get
fine. But like, you know what? I'm gonna keep fucking throwing my fishing lure in there because that's, bro. This shit grows on trees. Your content, You just said it. You will find something funny out of everything. We could talk about abortion. We could talk about rape. Is rape funny? Absolutely not. But
Well,
like,
it
if
can be.
I was getting raped right now by a dog, that should be fucking hilarious. It's like, is he coming? Is he enjoying that? It's like,
There's a lot that goes into where you can make that funny.
yeah. I think that's where the money really lies.
Like, especially, it comes down, it really just comes down to your attitude about
That's
it.
true.
If you're like not having a good time, then people
not
watching it
gonna
every
vibe.
time. But if you're like this, is he in?
Yeah.
Is he? You know, then you're like, all right, this could
Could you use enough peanut butter?
There's I got like a lot of videos I can pick from, but I think I try to go for like the more newer stuff I find, because a lot of times I do find shit and I'm like, oh, this is fucking funny.
Okay.
And then I see every other podcast go over and I'm like, I can't do it now. So
Yeah,
I gotta
I
try to
feel
stick
that.
up with like right now there's a thing going on with YouTube where I saw it a while ago, but it was a guy, an Asian gay guy who's showing you like tutorial how to use Nair. Like the hair,
On his butthole. on
Yeah,
his
did you see
YouTube?
that?
I heard about that. That's considered educational.
and it's like you see his fucking. He's like doing anal like gaping, like gaping, but like he's pushing it out and shit
Yeah.
like that. And you see his dick and balls in frame on YouTube, which is fucking insane. But it's like it's the only thing that makes it fun, because obviously that's on porn.
Yeah.
But it makes it a thing is because it's on YouTube. And I saw that, I was like, that's fucking hilarious. But now everybody's already covered it, and I'm like, I can't really fucking do anything like that now. But it's also interesting too, because the people who do watch the video, even though I watched their podcast of them doing it on YouTube,
Like reviewing it?
because that video is on YouTube, they still censor it out. But I'm like, but it's allowed on
But
like,
it's
that
allowed
video's
on YouTube.
because that's what I do a lot of times. If I find a video on YouTube, which is rare, which never happens because they don't have good shit in terms of like good reactions. If it is on YouTube, then I'm like, I don't need to censor it up because it's already on YouTube.
Yep.
Like, I just know that video exists on there already, then I don't need to censor it up in terms of,
Is that a safe bet?
yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, after a while though, like the one that, you know how I showed you the Asian guy, the pedophile one?
Yeah.
When he crashed the car, that video then that blew up.
Yeah.
So that video was taken off YouTube, and then that part was like flagged for me because they already took it off. And then, but the time it was on there, I remember I like repealed it. I was like, it's on YouTube, but then I checked, this whole count was deleted.
Stupid.
So I was like, okay. So that is a problem. Even though it's on YouTube then, it could not be on it later.
That makes
So,
it really
but
dumb. It's like you're trying to tell the future.
yeah. So I guess it's just always better to just kind of like it's like it's not an absolute gauge of whether or not it's okay for YouTube or not. But like for the most part, it is kind of like you're like, okay, this should be fine.
Yeah.
But if there's ever like, I don't know, like that butt one's obvious, I can't put that on there. But the car crash, I know I probably can. This one I probably can too.
One more.
I think it's out of college. They're just like breaking shit. They break this light pole off. Hits this kid in the head. So I didn't laugh because it's like there's something kind of funny about when like somebody gets knocked out and they like that's not a position you're doing unless you get knocked out.
Yeah, it's a Family Guy fall.
That's like
When the arm gets stuck behind their back and shit.
yeah, no, that's exactly. That's
love
like Peter
that
Different
shit.
fault.
Yeah.
That's I watched that so many times last night. I was laughing because that's something that's like no one's. I mean, I guess some people can sleep like that. Like the only thing you would like do that in.
Yeah.
But like that position is just like it is a fucking Family Guy like cartoon like knockout.
There's got to be something to say for being knocked their lights out, even though the light's still on. You know, there's some sort of pun there. It fell on his fucking head, and like it's the light's still on. The cord's probably still attached, but his fucking got knocked the fuck out.
I'm gonna do one more video too. Well, I'm just gonna do it because it's still kind of fresh. But this one I'll probably blur on YouTube. But have you ever been knocked out? By the way,
Yes.
you have. From
Yeah.
what? Because I've never been knocked out.
So I was knocked out. You're not supposed to get knocked out when you're young, and I was knocked out really fucking young.
Uncles, dude.
Yeah,
you know?
bro. I told him, I said, pull your fucking dick out, and he donkey punched me so fucking hard that there's some other joke there. My mom and dad were both teachers, so I had the privilege of hanging around. I was that fucking kid that was like, oh, you have to go home. Well, I'm gonna play recess by myself with my imaginary friend, And I have a super bouncy ball, and I would play with it like kind of like handball, not really like hitting it, but more like hitting it, like throwing it, catching it. And I threw it so hard that I was turning around to catch it, and as I was like running backwards like a bad fucking outfieldsman, I ran into not the fire hydrant, but the two cement poles that guard the fire hydrant. So when like the fire, so I knocked myself out. I broke my permanent tooth, and then some kid like found me. And he's like, Max, do you want me to get somebody? And I'm like unconscious, and I woke up and I see my tooth and like a puddle of blood, and I'm like, I would prefer,
Go get somebody.
I would prefer that, yeah. And then I get to like the nurse, and they're like, "What the fuck happened?" Because this is all bloody, and my teeth are like messed up, and I had 4 braces, and they said if I didn't have like the 4 braces on my first 4 permanent teeth, all 4 would have knocked out.
Fuck.
So I knocked myself out, which was stupid. Ever since then, I've never really broken a bone. I've been really lucky. I don't really knock myself out. I overdosed in like 2016. That was fun. That's kind of like knocking yourself out.
Did you talk about that in the last time on here?
I don't know. Probably not. But it's one of those things that like I'm super proud of because nowadays people like have Narcan. Yeah. And there's drugs that give you the power to basically do all the drugs you want.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of like
So
it's like a pro and a con with that. Really,
it's a con. It's a pro to save your life, but guess what? That person that's in your life
gives
doesn't
them
give a shit
you're
anymore.
Like it's like being like, well, I can't die.
Yep. It used to be, hey, you would have a really rocky time until you hit your rock bottom. That rock bottom was like, oh, I overdosed in a car and I had to go to the hospital. Now they just Narcan you at the scene of the crime, and you know that's fine. But guess what? I needed a rock bottom to fucking learn. Hey, this isn't the lifestyle I want to lead. You know, drugs are fucking drugs fucking work. People are like, oh, don't do them. It's like, no, you can do them. But like a cop told me this one time, if you're gonna break the law, break one law at a time. Don't break every law.
I live by that.
Yep. And so it's like,
if you're driving drunk, don't speed.
Yeah, take a Norco.
I mean, that's just I don't do that. But
take a Norco, fall asleep. But don't take a Norco while you're drinking and you're trying to do coke and trying to gamble at international waters. You know,
international waters. But yeah, would you say you OD'd or what was it?
I OD'd in 2016. I took a bunch of fucking Norcos. So I was addicted to drugs. So when you're addicted to drugs, your body's used to drugs, right? You stop taking those drugs and your body still thinks you're addicted to drugs. So when you go back to taking that amount, you're like, oh, I'll just fucking take 12 shots because that's what I take in one night anyway, right? So I took like 30 or 40 Norcos, and I had like 12 Xanax bars. My mom and her boyfriend, this is all I remember. My mom and her boyfriend, their 9-year-old daughter, were like, we're going to go see like a movie. You want to come with? I'm like, nah, I got plans. And those plans included just eating way too many. I mean, I was like a walking Pez dispenser. I fucking overdosed. I turned on every light of the house. I opened every window. I text my mom like a bunch of random texts. And then she came home and she like found me unconscious. And people are like, fuck cops. And I'm a firm believer that some cops are bastards, right? It really appeals to that kind of asshole personality. Yeah. Whatever cop was working that night, he came to my house before the ambulance showed up, and he used the back of his flashlight as like a cold compress to make my heart work again.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, that's not a cop. That's like a hero, you know? And I never got his name.
Is that a thing to do?
I guess it is. I never see. That's what, when you overdose, you're supposed to go to the hospital and they're supposed to check on you to see if you're dying or you have issues. I never did that, so I'm alive.
So he put the cold like flashlight
on the back of my chest, and I don't remember this. I literally remember eating way too many painkillers and then waking up like 2 days later, and my mom and my sister, who don't talk, they're both in the same room, and they were like, "You need to go to rehab," and I'm like, "Okay."
Were you in a coma?
I think for about 2 days, but see, it should have been it should have been a medically induced coma at a hospital under a doctor's supervision.
Yeah.
Instead, they were like, "Well, his heart's working again. You want to just we're good." Yeah. So, when it comes to alcohol, I have people that tell me all the time. They're like, "Well, I have a heroin addict sister. What should I do to like?" It's like, if she's actively in the addiction, there's nothing you can do. But what you can do is when they're nodding off, trying to enjoy their high, falling asleep, punch them, pour water on them, pour milk on them so they stink and they're sticky. whatever you want to do to make your life better, because they're a heroin addict and that's all they're gonna do. And I'm saying that as someone who used to be a heroin addict. I was selfish as fuck. So it's like, bro, there's nothing you can do to stop. They're in their shit, right? So just fuck with them. Make their high horrible. Yeah. They're gonna be
that's actually a good.
Bro, if I like my Cody the redheaded bastard hits me up, and he's a good friend of mine, know him since junior high. He tells me about a couple months, I'm doing too many whippets, and it's like there's nothing I can do about that. But if you were here with me right now, and you were like sucking on whipped cream, I'd fucking punch you in your gut, or I'd pop your balloon. Like, if you're belligerent drunk, I would knock you out.
Did that happen to you when you were doing it?
What?
People pour milk and shit.
No, thank God. I was.
Thank God.
Thank God. No, see, opiates reacted in my brain kind of cocaine did for most people. I was already like nervous and not really like, bro, I could talk to anybody on painkillers. Not like sleepy painkillers, but like just the right amount. I was like saying outlandish jokes. I just felt like there was a cup in my brain and it was filled all the way up. And then without the opiates, it was like, okay, I still have that cup in my brain, but it's kind of empty and I need some more liquid in it. I'm not thirsty, but I want more liquid in that cup. So it's not like I'm a dry drunk, but like I'm a much better human being, not fucked up all the time, because I would steal, I wouldn't fuck you over. You know, the first time I met you,
Water polo.
you brought me Norcos from your medicine cabinet.
Well, I met you before.
You
but
did meet
yeah.
me before that, and I remember thinking to myself, is like, if I am already not asking people for drugs, but people, I'm 15 or 16.
Well, I liked you. You were a cool guy. And I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
cool, and I appreciate
but like,
that.
I knew that you liked drugs, and like,
Yeah. And you literally brought me drugs.
like I
with
said,
no
like
fucking...
to me, it like that. You said like to me, it was like it doesn't like you're not a problem.
Yeah.
You're not a problem to me. I don't know
Yeah.
if you have a problem. Obviously, you're like you want to change things, but like to me, I'm like this isn't a problem at all. Like you're having a good time. You're like
I feel like if I
you're
didn't
like
say...
fun to be around. I'm like yeah. I mean, this guy loves it. I'm like you want some Norcos, man?
I like it. My uncle brought cocaine. My uncle lived with us for a few months, almost a year, and he works for Sun Country Marine, and he sells yachts. So he does coke kind of like to fit in. He doesn't do it anymore, but that's kind of what was happening. And he brought me coke, and he's like, "Is it good stuff?" And I like did some. He's like, "I know you like coke." I'm like, "I don't." He's like, "Well, why'd you do it?" I'm like, "I'm a drug addict. Like I didn't want to do it, you know." And that was a huge problem, and it's become a problem with my family because no one's a drug addict, so they just live their lives, but then somehow I'm affected by it, and then they wonder why. And it's like, no, you can still do the coke, just don't do it at your mom's house when your grandson's
Special
living there.
occasions, you know.
I'm a firm believer that everything in moderation, including moderation.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you could drinking too much water can fucking kill you.
That's what I hate, and
You know
people
what I
don't want to hear that shit. They're like, "Well, this is bad for you." I'm like, you go outside for too long, you get a sunburn, that can kill you.
That's like actually one thing I really stick by. The biggest thing I stick by when it comes to like medicine and like health is everything's okay in moderation. You know, you can drink every now and then, but like just don't make it a fucking every day. It's
The
your
one
thing.
thing that I want to say on a podcast where people are going to see, when it becomes a man-made thing, like an opiate or a benzo or something to get a prescription for, it is tailored to your brain to do different shit. When you're smoking a pot or you're eating a mushroom, not as much, right? Like it's literally the mushroom's good or the mushroom is bad, right? And so that's where like you can dabble, but then you're dabbling in the area where the government makes their money. There's a reason I don't sell coke. There's a reason I don't do coke, because I don't work for the CIA. It's just easier that way, right? And people don't want to have that conversation. It's like, fine. But when you do that and you want to become Mr. Trap Star, look at who else wanted to be a trapper and got fucking offed. So that's a good way to... That's a good transition.
I'll end on this video.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So this is two guys, and they're riding what I believe to be just like dirt bikes throughout the woods, and that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah.
He hits a stick.
Oh shit.
He's like, oh shit, I hit a stick.
Oh no,
And
fucking
he looks
way.
down, dude, and the stick is going through his foot.
My foot is done. Bro, you're so calm about your foot being done. What the fuck?
I mean, dude. Oh, I think I did actually tell this video last podcast, but it's all right, whatever. Dude, that is going through his foot entirely. Wow. Which is crazy because it's like, you know, he doesn't. That's like, I feel like the worst experience because you're not feeling the pain, but you know it's there and you know it's coming.
Yeah, and
you know, it's like almost like knowing your death. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, oh, when am I gonna die? And like, okay, when you're this age at this time, and everything really is. Then you're like waiting for it. That is like that, where he's like, I can't feel this now, but I know this is going to be a long fucking few months.
Have you ever stabbed yourself or impaled yourself or stitches or anything like that?
Not besides surgery wise, I don't think so. I remember I was a kid once and I was like, I had like a fucking saw and I was cutting through a tree and the tree like fell over and it hit my thumb and it like ripped off half my nail.
Ouch.
But scar wise, besides surgeries, no, dude. I was actually I was golfing like fucking 3 weeks ago, and I was doing a stupid fucking joke where I was like looking back at my buddy, mad dogging him, playing along with the joke of I'm not looking where I'm driving to give them the idea of
That's
like,
a
oh, he's not
classic
looking
joke.
where he's
Yeah.
driving. And I thought I was fine, but I accidentally drove up a rock embankment and it fucking flipped the cart. And I was with a guy who was like, he's like 30 something, which is, it's just, doesn't matter, but like he's a little bit older. So
Yeah,
he's
but
just
fuck
kind of
him.
like, I mean, he's a good guy, but like, it was
Yeah.
just kind of more of like, oh, this is kind of like kid shit that I just did. And
Yeah.
I fucking flipped the cart and I scratched my arm right here.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad at all. Like it's just a regular scratch,
Just
but it's
been
scarred
there
now.
forever, yeah.
And I'm like, why is that scarred? Like it wasn't like anything scarable. It was just a scratch. And now I'm like, hopefully that goes away.
Yeah.
But it was just like, I felt so bad. It was probably one of the stupidest things I've ever done. But I flipped this fucking cart and like, everything's falling out. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I looked back and my buddy was just like, hey, Ethan, he was looking at me. He's like, he didn't even get out to help us. He was so shocked at what happened that I was like, okay, maybe that was what I was going for, but I didn't want to flip this cart because maybe
That's
if I was alone, but because my buddy was in there, I was like, oh, I felt bad. But
Well, now you have a cool scar to show off to all the ladies, you know. Well, what happened with that? The
Well, I guess I
horrible
got-
golfing accident.
me and my, I'm not really that close to my family.
Yeah.
I mean, we're close, but we're not like when I hang out with, like some of my
no,
friends,
I'm white. I get you.
like Christian Roth, like every time I go to his house, it's like they're always hanging out together, talking. Like they can talk about anything. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, okay, you ever heard of the saying that it takes a village to raise an idiot? Like child?
Yeah.
That's Christian Roth.
Yeah.
The family has to be involved for him to
Yeah.
have an okay life.
I mean, dude, I love his
And I love
his
Christian
parents
Roth,
are
and I'm
so
saying
different,
that.
but his dad's like kind of like Christian, like
Yeah.
where he's just kind of like fucking with you
Autistic.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
uh-huh.
that. But it wasn't like me and my family all hanging out together. But me and my sister don't like really fuck with each other. We're like when she was living here, and I remember I came downstairs one day. And I was kind of like being like a little dick too. Well, not like a dick, but like sarcastic dick where I was like, hey, you look really beautiful today, which is something I would never say to her. And she just knows that. She's like, shut up.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I walked past her and I don't know what it was, but I her and my brother and like my dad have like fucking short fuses where they get mad fucking over anything. It's bad. Well, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just like,
temper,
it's, you know, she hits me over the head with a coffee mug. And I was like, oh my, which has never happened. It's never been a thing. That's like not like a violent thing ever. That's what I'm talking about because it's not like an average, oh, that's always happened.
Yeah.
It's only happened once and it was with that. Hits me over the head with a coffee mug shatters. And I was like, what the fuck? And then she
you bleed
throws like the
everywhere?
broken part at me and it hits my arm and it just cuts me open. I was like,
Bro, what a bitch.
and I was like looking at her. I was like, I mean, I'm still not mad. Like you guys,
No, I'm
you know
just
what I
bleeding.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that, they get so mad so easy. I looked at it, I was like, I'm still not like you guys getting mad.
Yeah.
My mom was there. She's like, oh, stop. Like she was like, what's going on? And I was just like, okay. And then I went and got stitches at the fucking doctor's office that my sister worked at too. And she was like, come on back.
How much older is she than you?
She's like 3 years older.
Okay.
Fine. Now all we do is just send memes to each other. But
Yeah.
living together, it's just like, you know, leaving
My
messes
sister and I
shit,
are,
but-
it's only she and I. She's 16 months older than me. We're complete polar opposites.
Yeah.
And she's getting fucking married, and she's not having anyone walk her down the aisle because we don't
Damn.
have a relationship with our parents. So I told her, hey, Olivia, I would love to walk you down the aisle and give you away. She's like, well, I was actually thinking of having you be the ring bearer. And I was like, so most people are like, isn't that for children? And they're like, yeah. And so I think, like, this entire time, my sister's never had a sense of fucking humor. And now she finally has a sense of humor by making the 6'5" guy with giant tattoos all over to be like,
That would be kind of
this ring
funny.
down the
I guess a
aisle.
ring bearer is a kid.
Yeah.
But what do you do if you have fucking no kids? Like,
Well, that's the
like,
thing. It's like she's like carry the ring down the
Just gotta
aisle.
hire one.
I'm just gonna put it on my cock ring, you
Yeah.
know, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is really funny." I'm like, "I
Yeah.
know, right?" And then
Damn.
no one's gonna laugh because that's not that clever.
People are like super confused.
They're like, Dude,
Bill's gonna
get
be
it?
there. Bill's
Cock
gonna be
ring."
there. He's like looking at it. He's like, "Fuck, I should get one of those."
Yeah, yeah. He's like, young whippersnapper, use one of those.
Yeah.
Now
He's like, back in my day, cock rings used to be made out of wood.
Yeah,
I used to make it myself.
it used to be someone else's cock.
Yeah.
Wrapped around yours. You had to rip it off, earn it. I'm like, God damn, Bill.
All right, I'm gonna end it here, dude. It was almost a 2-hour podcast.
That was a good one, man.
I want to keep going, but I don't know what the fuck's up with that camera.
you're
That camera's giving me like, oh, we're gonna die soon, but it's
You're
plugged
good,
in,
brother.
which is kind of weird. So I gotta figure some shit out with that. But good podcast, man. Oh wait. Oh wait, I don't think I can't really.
What?
Well, I can, do you want to promote anything? I was just like,
I kind of promoted.
okay, good.
Yeah. Both the people that wanted me promoted weren't like interested in me like promoting it. Like Billy, I was like, Billy, how? He's like, it's gonna sell it anyway. I'm like, okay, well, I said the thing on the 12th.
Yeah.
For the roast battle, I said the thing on the 13th. So
that's one thing I've like learned where it's like no one really wants to hear an advertisement if you just do
naturally.
Just I mean, not even
I jumped
not
into
even naturally,
shit way too
but
fast.
just no, you're fine. You can do whatever you want.
That
man.
old bitch fell.
But it's just like if you just talk about your normal stuff, people like you. They're just gonna be interested. You know, like with me, it's like. I mean, you got to think about like. I mean, I guess I'm different because I know people just pay shit just because they hear it, like little kudos and shit. But like, if I watch something, and they're like, "Oh, buy this," I'm like, I've never once bought in anything because someone told me to do it. I'm gonna do it because I'm like, either I like the product, I like the person, and I'm just like, I got to do it.
Well, like Mac Weldon underwear, that's a big ad, right? And my homie has them, and he's like, "These are the best." I'm like, "Where'd you learn about it?" He's like, "A podcast." I'm like, "Then it worked."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "I learned about it from you." But I'm not fucking going out and buying $40 pairs of underwear.
No, exactly.
Like it's.
I mean that because it's just like
it's just advertisement.
I don't know,
I feel like Mad Men on like just fucking just say it, put it out there, offend some people, say it's not for women, and someone's gonna like. I made a logo with fucking Clint Eastwood on it. I made one with Mel Gibson on it, covering their eyes with the Maxwell Farms logo. It's stupid. They're like, you're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna cease and desist. I'm like, I hope so.
No, they won't. No,
because that way it's traction. I like talking about my stupid brand that has these fucking old white guys on it.
No, you'll be good though.
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
Wait, we turn it up. Okay. I gotta get Matt to like do like he was gonna. I was telling him I was like, the stand-ups, the open mics. What's today?
It's 4:30.
Wednesday. Shit. Probably nothing. I don't
All right,
know.
good.
Maybe edit or something.
Let's talk about stuff.
Okay.